This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we have a listener-sponsored review of Jean-Claude Van Damme's 1993 action flick, Hard Target, plus reactions to the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine, the Blade movie losing its director, Marvel looking to recast General Ross with a big name, She-Hulk, Andor, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power. There's so much to watch. We talk about all of it, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, October 3rd, 2022.
This is Frank Grillo. You know me. But who are you? Are you the discerning, sophisticated type of person who enjoys all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news? Pop culture references, witty banter? Me neither. I'm just here for the dick jokes.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talk it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We talk it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, listener, that's right. You heard it. You're here. You made it. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Chance Boudreau.
The Chance. Oh, Chance, you come to visit me.
Chance Boudreau.
Chance Boudreau. He's the Cajun Jock. Actually, that works.
I can't really do a good
You're shocked. You can't do a Cajun fucking French accent, you bastard. I'll say, he's the Jock. And you can say, he's the nerd.
He's a nerd.
He's a nerd. All right.
That's like more French.
It is. That's French Cajun.
No, Cajun's its own thing.
Speaking of all of Cajuns, joining us also.
Asians.
Speaking of Asians.
Excuse you.
Joining us, despite the fact that he is a soft target, he will still punch a snake in the face. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Yes, and after I punch the snake in the face, I will bite off his rattle.
Yeah, and you should do something
and
with
suck
it.
the blood out of it.
Suck the venom out of it.
Yes.
I'll punch.
What's in a rattle? What's in a snake's rattle? Is
I don't know. You can make a nice baby toy or a dog toy out of it.
It's like bone fragments or something?
Yeah. Rugs, you punch your trouser snake in the face? Is that how you treat it? That's not nice.
And then I put it in my mouth.
You're very flexible.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of this bullshit. We will get to all the French Cajun stuff later. We have a really fun movie to review, but we have a lot of news to discuss. Let's get to it.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
There was a lot of MCU news this episode. There was big breaking news that got preempted by more breaking news. We will get to all of it. The first thing I'm just talking about is released today. Marvel released a brand new trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And this one's a little more narrative. You see maybe too many things. You see a little more of the story. Anthony, let's start with you, Chance. What you think about this trailer, huh? No, I'm going to stop doing that.
Okay. I'm sorry I even started that.
What did we see in here? What did you get out of this?
We got this trailer this morning as we record October 3rd, 2022. I'll say right off the bat that these two trailers are some of the best things Marvel's done as far as trailers.
Absolutely.
They're, I'm sure the movie will have its humor because Marvel always has its humor, but I think Rugg said this last time, and I'm going to steal his thunder and say it for this trailer as well, in that it's nice to see that they're taking this seriously, especially when you're looking at the last two projects they've released, She-Hulk, and I liked Love and Thunder, but some didn't. And both are categorically very jokey properties, and this one doesn't seem to be.
Yeah.
So hopefully it stays that way. We definitely see a lot more of the plot with people invading Wakanda. It looks like Namor invading Wakanda, and because of the fact that they're weakened, I've read some stuff that Namor isn't really a villain either, and there might be just some sort of misunderstanding. But overall, they cut this to be very epic, and it works.
Holy shit! This right now is the only thing from the MCU that gives me full-on chills. Still, like these two trailers have been amazing, beautiful shots, great music. Ruggs, what'd you pick up out of this trailer They give
We
you
get
more.
to see the Black Panther. We see
Oh,
Riri
shit.
Williams.
Oh shit! Yeah, you see Ironheart
Ironheart.
flying around. That shot at the very end of the person in the Black Panther suit is clearly a female body.
Oh, yeah.
Think so?
I
No,
think.
I'm just fucking with you.
I think it's gonna be Shuri. Now, whether she remains Black Panther or it gets passed around or how long she is remains to be seen. But odds are Shuri. But you get to see Okoye and Nakia and M'Baku. And fucking Namor looks badass. Atuma attacking a lot of the Queen. Does someone die in this movie? I feel like this trailer is trying to.
I think the Black Panther is dead in this movie.
Well, yes, T'Challa is dead, but I feel like the Queen may not make it out of this movie alive. I don't know.
Wow,
It's
really?
it's giving me that
sad.
feeling.
Yeah, potentially. I think someone will hit it. I personally think it's going to be M'Baku.
Was it just me, or was the audio really muffled on this? Because I couldn't make out what the fuck they were saying throughout the trailer.
No, it was a little hard to understand. I had to turn the captions on. And
I couldn't find one with captions.
I found the one from Marvel Studios.
I think it was released in India.
There's one from the Marvel Studios YouTube channel has actual captions.
That's the India one, I think.
Is that the India one? And
that's the first one I saw, and I couldn't watch it because I hate captions. So
it's you have Namor set. Where do they go now? Where are the captions?
What do they call him? Because I couldn't make out what they said. Something with wings? A serpent with wings?
He says Kukulkan. Kukulkan.
yeah, it's the Aztec name of the underwater.
Is a Mesoamerican
God.
serpent deity.
There you go.
Known as the feather serpent god. And then you see him flying with his little ankle wings, and you see Namor has pointy ears, and it looks amazing. But that shot of him flying and jumping looks fucking dope. There's definitely going to be a funeral. You definitely see Ironheart. This movie is reportedly, if we can believe the Screen Time movie sites, 2 hours and 41 minutes long.
Whoa.
Making it the second longest MCU movie, just behind Avengers Endgame. It's almost a half an hour longer than the first one.
Wow.
So I think it's going to be epic. Like, I think they're going to spend a lot of time in the funeral in the beginning. They're going to spend a lot of time introducing Namor. And then there's just some war. Anthony, you brought up a good point. I did see the article. Tanac Huerta says I'm more of an anti-hero than a villain. If he's not the villain, who's the villain?
Namor's always been an anti-hero,
Yeah,
so that makes
yeah.
sense.
There are certain rumors. Could we see the first appearance of another monarch villain, another king of another country?
Doom?
Oh, shit, you said it.
Shit.
Maybe. That would make a lot of sense here.
That would make a lot. Not
Right?
maybe you don't see him, but maybe some end credit scene where he's been kind of pulling the strings on these two cultures getting at each other.
The whole time he was behind it, that would be, I mean, I think it would make, because you already have Wakanda and you have Talokan, and you can introduce Latveria or wherever the hell they want to make Doom from.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. The scenes of Wakanda flooding the underwater scenes.
Kulkulkan. I just heard him. I heard him say, "I'm listening to it right now."
Yeah, that's how he says it. It was a little
They
hard.
call him Kulkulkan.
Dude, the shot of Atuma jumping out, you see Riri inside the suit. It looks dope.
Well, the music's really nice for
Yeah.
it too. They definitely cut it with some fitted themed music that seems epic. I like it. I like the trailer. If they're able to pull this off, I'll give them a lot of kudos too, because they were dealt a shit hand.
Yeah.
with T'Challa dying and them deciding they're not going to recast.
It's a big deal. They have to pull this off. It's kind of going to be like a make it or break it thing, right? For this franchise.
Oh, for sure.
So
Not even for the franchise. I think a lot of people are more down than I am, but I think that generally it seems like people are down on Phase 4, and this is supposed to be the end of it. So if they can end with, by all accounts, it looks like Werewolf by Night's getting a lot of good reviews, and it looks different. If they can end with that, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I think they'll turn things around at least momentarily for themselves. I mean, this movie has to. I agree with you. I think it has to do well for them because not only all that, but just it feels like an important movie just because of T'Challa's death or the Boseman's death. So to warp that in, and then you bring in Namor, a lot of stuff going on in this movie. passing of the mantle.
What happens if it doesn't do well?
What if it's
I don't think it's. I think it's going to make a lot of money. So in that sense, I think it will do fine.
It's going to make. It's going to make all the money. It's going to make.
I think it's going to do really well. If it doesn't do well, then it's just continuing the theme of disappointing Marvel Phase 4.
At this moment in time, this movie looks as if it's like a real movie. It's like a real experience. There's there's a heroic tale going on. There's good versus evil. There's shades of gray. There's obviously emotional baggage here with what happened in real life and how they have to deal with the loss of Black Panther. There's a lot going on, and it could work. It probably will. So I think we should all be there for it and check it out.
I want to see them tackle the themes of what it means to be a king. What is a nation without its king? When they've come into the world and everybody knows them. It looks just like an epic fantasy sci-fi fucking movie, despite it being an MCU movie. This looks incredible. Full on geek.
It's got a hard thing to do because it's lost its star and it has to be has to be as good or better than the first movie.
Will it be another cultural moment, like that first movie was? Remains to be seen. But now
I don't think it can be that.
Yeah,
but I think it can be its own thing. I don't think you can only have that moment. Well, you could recreate that moment, but that moment was different. This one's a little bit more like it's honoring this guy's memory, sort of, in terms of Chadwick Boseman. It's capping off Phase 4, and it's introducing, the next generation of the next Black Panther, as well as the next character in Namor that potentially could be in a lot of films together. Both of these characters can be still have a lot of runway in terms of the next saga.
The only parallel I could draw is the Fast and the Furious when that dude,
Paul Walker, after Paul Walker's death. Yeah.
That movie did really well too.
Yeah. I mean, that could even push this to go better than Black Panther in a way. If you think about that kind of effect, that more people will turn out to support this movie. And you have many strong women in the lead. That's exciting. And I can't wait to see Namor. I want to see. They said he's a mutant, or in some article, Tariq Huerta pretty much confirmed he is a mutant. We're going to get another mutant. He is Marvel's first mutant, and he's one of the oldest characters from the late 30s.
Miss Marvel was the first mutant.
Well, you have Miss Marvel was the first mutant. I'm saying Marvel's
first reveal.
Yeah,
okay.
Marvel's first mutant in general. Marvel Comics.
Oh yes, of course.
Being created in 1939. One of the oldest characters. Finally, we get to see him. Very exciting, listener. November 11th. So a little over a month away. We will get Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
I already have my tickets.
Oh shit! You buy your tickets for that? I got to buy my tickets before they're on sale already. Fuck! Is that what this was
the
for?
trailer?
That's what this trailer was for.
Tickets are on sale.
Shit! I got to get into the Fandango before it's sold out.
Are we all happy with Shuri potentially being the Black Panther?
No, but they're doing it. So
I got to see it. I don't know. Sure, it's fine. I mean, the suit looks dope. Whoever's wearing it, that's her. She gonna
looks like her, right?
Yeah,
she's a little bit more slender than the other two characters.
Yeah.
Or the other ladies that potentially could be Black Panther.
Does she remain Black Panther by the end of the movie? What happens? I like seeing M'Baku back. It's going to be great. Listener, let us know what you think. Join the conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. There is a link in the show description. It is a closed group just for our listeners where we post a lot of fun things. You can meet all of our other amazing listeners. Okay, let's move on to the other big news that broke several days ago. You probably already saw this, but they kind of let Ryan Reynolds announce via a video on Twitter not only the date for Deadpool 3, but the fact that Hugh motherfucking Jackman is back, man, as Wolverine.
Oh, shit.
I think a lot of people thought this was coming. I was not expecting this. They must have rolled a fucking dump truck of money to Hugh Jackman's fucking porch for him to come back. This will be his 10th time playing Wolverine. Comment on that. This looks, now I can't wait for this. This is not coming out until 2024. Ruggs, let's start with you. Did you watch these little videos that they put out? They're kind of funny.
I watched one. I think that he was walking up the stairs. He's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And then
there was another one where
they were
were
sitting
like,
together on the couch.
Yeah, they were going to explain what their idea was, and then wham's, "Wake me up before you go."
Yeah,
just starts playing.
I thought that was kind of stupid, but like, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a one and done. I don't think. I mean, if he's like almost 60 years old, or probably already 60, Hugh Jackman, right?
53.
But, he's 53.
Yeah.
Oh
no, I mean,
it's like mine.
This movie comes out in 2 years. So
yeah, in 2 years. He was like 30, 31 when he did the first movie, I believe. So no,
why does he look so good?
That was my question. Will we see the yellow costume? I was a little bit excited to see someone new play the Wolverine, but fuck, this is also great. I'll take this. Geek boner. Anthony, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's a good thing in terms of Wolverine being back in the MCU. I think it's going to increase interest in Deadpool 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool 2 was fine, but no one was like, oh, I can't wait for Deadpool 3. I think most of the excitement for Deadpool 3 was the fact that he's going to be in the MCU. And now you throw in Wolverine. I think that can only help interest in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of kicks off Phase 4 with a 1-2 bang with Fantastic Four,
Phase
Deadpool
6,
3. Phase 6, excuse me.
Yeah.
I am a little... I was ready for a new Wolverine, so in that sense, I'm a little disappointed that we're not getting a new Wolverine. And this guy, Hugh Jackman, is old as shit. So I don't know how much longer he can do this. Logan will always be a perfect send-off for the guy. I'm not one of those that thinks it's totally spitting on that movie if you bring back Hugh Jackman. I don't think it's that sacred. But I think Logan, on its own, I think that was a perfect send-off. So, in that sense, I'm a little concerned, but I think it'll be a fun buddy cop kind of movie. They can maybe travel through time together.
Oh.
They can do a bunch of different things. It'll be wacky as shit, and we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I see both sides to the argument. I'm not super excited. I'm not pissed off. I'm just like, oh, okay. I'll see how this plays out.
I think you have plausible deniability. It depends on what happens in Deadpool 3, because thus far, it's a separate universe, right? Thus far, it's in the Fox universe, and Wolverine is in the Fox universe. The X-Men are in that universe. So having him be in that movie, if you're just like, you already know that Deadpool existed outside of the Marvel universe. So it's like, if they don't choose to cross it over and they keep all of their shit in their universe, I think it's completely fine. If we can get Hugh Jackman in the yellow spandex.
Yes.
Because we never got to see that, right? We got to see everything else. They even teased it in the Wolverine movie. But in Suitcase, but we never got to see him put that shit on. Let us see that shit. Let us fucking have that fucking screen grab for fucking forever. And let's make a figure out of that. And then we can get a new Wolverine. When we start fresh, when we make the real X-Men that's in the real Marvel universe.
I mean, it's Deadpool, right? So they could do all sorts of wacky things. I do love how there's two characters with healing powers, so they can just fucking cut each other up and they'll be fine. And they'll just get back together. So there could be a lot of fun things with that. I am excited, but I wanted to see someone new maybe in this movie. I don't know if we get introduced to the new Wolverine in this movie. That really wouldn't make any sense. But it's an alternate universe, and it's wacky. So you can put Hugh, put him in the yellow, and then one and done him, right? Just this is now an event movie. This is now the reason to see Deadpool 3 in September 2024.
Well, we've already established in the Marvel universe that with No Way Home that there is the multiverse, and
they all exist.
And with Doctor Strange, there's the multiverse. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be the Wolverine from the MCU, like our 616 MCU.
Yeah, no, that's how I think they're going to explain it. Is this is Wolverine from an alternate universe, the Fox universe, maybe. Deadpool definitely from an alternate universe. They already said in that second video, because people were asking about Logan, that Logan occurs in 2029,
right? It's
technically in the films.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to bring over Deadpool and perhaps Wolverine into the MCU, because that Deadpool 2 ends with him time traveling and fixing time in his own funny way.
Right.
And I think that'll probably intersect with some sort of thing that Doctor Strange had done when he cracked open the multiverse, or something will happen where they get flipped over to here. I do think now that they're bringing back Wolverine, I think Deadpool will definitely be in the MCU, and I think Wolverine, I think there's a decent shot we're going to see him in Secret Wars or King Guys. They're both.
Oh, there's a lot of teams they are building that they could all shove into the Secret Wars movie.
Well, they can do with the multiverse stuff. They can jump in and out of different universes, and you can see those characters.
I mean, we saw Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier return, right? So this could be the Wolverine from whatever universe that was. That would make sense because they all look like the Fox mutants. So, it's crazy. Great for Deadpool 3. Plus, their chemistry's got to be great. You know, they're like buds and they fuck with each other online. And I can't wait to see the two of them bounce off each other. And like you said, like a fun road trip buddy comedy would be amazing. And first R-rated, it would be Marvel's first R-rated movie too, which is another thing to look forward to.
Hopefully it's fun and hopefully it's worth. I don't hate on Hugh Jackman for taking the money because he probably got paid, as the kids say, the bag.
You know he got paid.
He secured the bag.
Yeah.
But that being said, I did really like Logan, and I kind of wish that was the end of Hugh Jackman.
It's a fucking great movie, and yeah, that was nice. That being the last time we saw his Wolverine, but I was like, you know what, I'm good. I want to see this now. The minute they announced, I was like, fuck yeah. This one is written by the same people, Ryan Reynolds, Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, but it will be directed by Sean Levy of Free Guy, yeah, and Adam Project, who has done a lot of work with Ryan Reynolds. So there's that.
Yes.
Maybe Zazie Beetz returns as Domino. I mean, the second movie was fun. We got to see Cable and time travel, like you said.
It wasn't bad.
Fine.
It wasn't bad.
Juggernaut with a fucking thing up his ass. It was great.
I think they did this. You're going to get into it, but I think they announced this because they were going through some trouble a day before.
Well, if this is Damage Control, we have to talk about a project that I'm a little bit worried about, and I think a lot of people are, and that is Marvel's Blade movie. Way back in 2019, seems like a long time ago, at the San Diego Comic-Con, they announced Mahershala Ali will be playing Blade. That was 3 years ago, and now the movie is supposed to come out next November. They were just about to begin shooting in Atlanta this November, and the director, Bassam Tariq, has dropped out of the movie.
Oh, shit.
They are saying production schedule conflicts. He's going to remain as an executive producer on the film. But that's not all. That alone is cause to be concerned, because they're going to delay production, right? You have to, but to have less than a year for production and to shoot this movie, if they don't push it back, that's not a lot of time. Then you follow that up with insider Jeff Snyder, Entertainment Insider, who he's a reporter for The Ankler. He tweeted some not so great thing saying, quote, "I'm told that the current Blade script is roughly 90 pages and features exactly 2 lackluster action sequences. Mahershala is said to be very frustrated with the process. Feige said to be spread too thin, but hey, that's what just sources are telling me. Don't shoot the messenger." And then you follow that up with, I got another rumor that this guy, they're going to delay the movie. This guy's writer, Beau DeMayo, who wrote on Moon Knight, and he's written on Bo. I'm already getting into the occasion. Beau DeMayo, who wrote on X-Men 97 and Moon Knight, rumored to be overhauling the entire Blade screenplay.
Oh, shit.
That's not good. The rumor was the movie was supposed to be set in the 20s. It was going to be a period piece. Maybe he jumped through time. Anthony, this sounds like a mess you would find over maybe at Warner Brothers or over and the Star Wars side of things at Disney, not necessarily under Kevin Feige's things at Marvel. So I don't know. Is this disconcerting?
None of that's good.
Yeah, okay. It's not good. Yes.
It's not good to lose your director, 8 weeks before you're about to start production?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Filming. You know, they're probably already pre-producing all this film and building sets. It sounds like they're going to delay it. It sounds like they're probably going to have to push this movie back.
They're going to have to.
I don't know what kind of ramifications that has for how they had things planned out in terms of, movie show, because everything kind of is a domino piece in this. So that's a bit concerning. I don't really understand how they can announce Mahershala Ali in 2019 it be 3 years later and they still don't really know what the hell they're doing. Like that.
Yeah.
This seems like it writes itself and is going to be. It should be awesome.
Yeah. How hard is this? To fucking knock a Blade movie out of the park.
I mean, it movie making's hard, but definitely seems like Fahey, as you said, might be spread too thin, and the quality control here is a bit lackluster. I just want to see the movie get made. So as long as they make the movie, I want to see Mahershala Ali as Blade. The original Blade series was not something I ever watched, so that's not my. I grew up with that Blade.
Okay,
so for me, Mahershala Ali would be a Blade, and that's what I want to see. Even if I go back and watch those Wesley Snipes films, I'm watching them retroactively. I'm not living them live. So I'm ready for Mahershala Ali. Hopefully they can put out a pretty solid film here. But it is concerning for sure.
Ruggs, 90 pages that's not a long movie.
Yeah, it seems a little light, but
it should be a lot.
Look, contrary to what Anthony said, I think that the Wesley Snipes film was great. And,
the first one's great,
and
second one's good.
I never saw it.
At that time, it really put Marvel on the map because it was like a real fucking adult movie, and it was badass. And Wesley Snipes the action sequences were great, the kills were great, and it was gory as fuck.
Yeah,
and Wesley Snipes was like a fucking great Blade. He was so badass, one of the most badass silent motherfucking characters that there were, just kicking ass and taking names. There is no way, if they only have 2 action sequences in this movie, there is no fucking way it's even gonna hold a candle. Lame.
Yeah.
No way. You gotta make a new Blade movie. You gotta try and eclipse what they did like in 2000.
It's gotta start with a badass action scene like that movie.
Yeah, you can't fuck around. You gotta do it. Sam Raimi's hanging around Marvel. Like, give him a call. He can do some
That's
wacky
not a
shit.
bad idea.
But like, he knows horror. But like, I think that it'll be wacky. I don't know if we should do wacky Blade. I think we should do scary Blade. But that's my opinion. But scary badass Blade I seen it. I like it. That's what I want. When Stephen Goyer made Blade Trinity, that third one, it did not have the badass like. You could tell when Stephen Norrington, how he directed that first film, he just knew badassery. It felt like a 90s badass movie, like, or early 2000s badass movie where like it was just stylized and great, dark. So I feel like Marvel's got a big job and they shouldn't fuck around and they should get this figured out. But Anthony said it best. It writes itself. He fucking kills vampires.
I know. What's the problem? How hard is this?
That's
it. Snipes' fighting style in that first movie is so great. Just like these precise movements. And you're right. He doesn't say anything and he just kicks ass. It's so much fun to watch. Now, Mahershala Ali, you don't want to frustrate your talent. This guy has 2 fucking Oscars. He's a multi-Oscar Academy Award winner. And if he's saying the script sucks and he doesn't that's not good. What are you doing? It's not hard. I don't know. Don't set it in the 1920s. I don't know. Maybe there's something in Werewolf by Night you can pull into there and tie it in. But yeah, none of that sounds good. So this is it's probably gonna have to be pushed back.
Look, this is the even more important question is you got the fucking huge juggernaut that is Disney that has all of the money, has all of everything, can kick doors open, can make things happen, whatever. And they can't make this movie?
Is Feige spread too thin? He can't be everywhere. He can't have his hands on everything or oversee everything.
I mean, they can't make Blade?
Right?
Like, they've already done it. It's not like you're trying to do something that's never been done before. They've done it.
Yeah.
It's like, the beats to hit right there.
Not only that, but they announced Mahershala Ali in 2019. They've had 3 years to figure this out.
Yeah, what have you been doing? How can you not?
I definitely think it's quality control.
What are people going to the theater to see? They're not looking for Shakespeare. They're looking for Blade.
I mean, meanwhile, Netflix is giving you Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg as fucking vampire hunters. Come on, get your shit together. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying that for Marvel. I never had to say that. I never had to give him the get your
You should
shit
get the
together
guy who
clip.
did Constantine to do it. Get him. He's good.
Yeah.
That guy would be good.
Perfect.
I read somewhere that Delroy Lindo was cast in this too.
Oh.
So
Wow.
that should be good. I'm just concerned too. One point I want to really touch on real quick is that Mahershala Ali's 48 years old.
Yeah.
So if you keep pushing this shit back, I'm sure he looks young because black don't crack.
No, it doesn't.
But
yeah.
That being said, how much can he really move the way you need to move his blade when he's in his 50s?
Yeah.
And I'd imagine, they don't want to just do one movie with the guy.
Right.
They want to do a couple. Now you're running into a guy that might be in his, hitting 60 at some point.
Yeah, the more you delay
in the Marvel
this.
universe. So,
Yeah.
and John Campea brought this up, but I'm actually, I want the movie to come out, but I mean, there's a real chance that this movie just doesn't get made, because if you delay production, first off, that's costing millions of dollars.
Yeah.
All these actors can't just sit around and wait. They have schedules where they've tied into other movies and stuff.
Yeah,
so
they're gonna move on. You're gonna lose them.
At some point, they might have to pull the plug on this thing, which would suck.
Whoa.
I feel like Marvel's always had its struggles, but I feel like that it's becoming pervasive.
Well, is this the first real cracks in the machine that we're seeing? I mean, they've had other issues like Edgar Wright, stepping away, which is different. He was on that thing for years. Scott Derrickson leaves Doctor Strange, but then you get Sam Raimi, great pickup, but that wasn't, weeks before starting fucking shooting the movie. This is different.
I think what really has hampered them is Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's too much.
If they just focused on the movies, I think they'd be okay. I think you'd still run into some stuff, but not like this. But the fact that they have to announce in advance not only movies, but TV shows and give them dates, and without scripts, without writers, without anything, I think it just gets to be too much.
So that's funny you say that, because
the hunger for more content is what's hurting them.
I saw this other article popping up. It is a rumor from the Cosmic Circus, so take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes,
what the hell website is that?
Yeah, they post a lot of spoilers, but this one speaks to what you're saying. The rumor is that Marvel is looking at turning a lot of these upcoming 6-episode shows into special presentations like Werewolf by Night, like the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, meaning that they may have bitten off a little more than they can chew, and maybe like the Nova, if they're going to do a show. Well, it's also, so there's that rumor combined with the next news article, which is Armor Wars. Don Cheadle's series is now being developed as a movie. So they've shifted Armor Wars from being a Disney Plus show to being a full movie, which I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it's good because I guarantee you that show was just decompression up the wazoo. Like it was probably one of those things where you could have just done it in the movie.
I'm completely with Ruggs. I think Marvel, the track record states Marvel does better with movies than they have with TV shows.
Yeah.
And a lot of the TV shows, there's been a couple that I liked. I liked WandaVision. I liked Loki. I liked parts of Moon Knight. I like parts of Miss Marvel really a lot. But a lot of these shows are either just stretched, like Ruggs says, decompressed, or for some reason they rush everything in the final
Yes, they
episode.
always rush everything in the end. Yes.
I feel like they just haven't really cracked the code with TV shows, and it's just better if the story isn't really something that can last 6 episodes, just make it a movie. And I think one more thing real quick is, Campea said this too, so I'm aping off him, but it's true. When they're spending $200 million on a TV show, that's spread over six hours, right?
Yeah.
But when they spend that money on a movie, it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
There's more dollar per minute.
Sure.
Which means they can actually put in a lot more attention into each minute and frame of the film rather than spreading that money out over a TV show.
No, you guys are right. If you're going to give me this slow-ass decompressed show, just don't waste my time. Put it in a 2-hour movie. How much, though, is there a desire from the audience to see an Armor Wars movie led by Don Cheadle? That would have been my next question. Like, you're forcing this over here now. Is it going to be as good, as hot a thing as a movie and not a TV show? But clearly something's up. They've given us 8 TV shows, right? And the ones you mentioned, Anthony, like there's a few really good ones, but overall, it's been kind of mid to good. 18. That's a lot of TV. It's a lot of outlets.
It's just been like mid, good.
Yeah.
Just like serviceable, I think.
It's been serviceable, yes. Some have been better than the others, but out of the 8, I don't know how many they're hitting completely out of the park. Not the majority of them. So they may be changing their strategy. They may be rethinking things. Blade may have forced their hand. Here's another crazy news story.
Well, you want to hear an idea to make this movie more appealing?
Yes.
Change the name to Iron Man.
Oh, shit. Just call it an Iron Man movie?
Iron Man 4.
Iron Man, Armor Wars or something?
Or Iron Man Legacy, or Iron Man Revolution, because since it's based off his tech.
Yeah.
The Armor Wars is based off an Iron Man story.
Yeah, just War Machine, the movie would be cool, too.
Oh, yeah. Or Iron Man War Machine. Yeah. Call it War Machine.
But, I mean, as far as the interest, I mean, no one's really clamoring for an Armor Wars, but I prefer... I think they could, the Marvel marketing machine can drum up interest. I mean, if they can still draw $300-400 million for the Eternals, they can drum up interest for anything.
That's true.
So I think that'll be fine. I like the idea that I think this is the right pivot in that if the story deserves a movie, go with the movie route. Don't Obi-Wan Kenobi this.
Right.
Take a movie and then make it a TV show.
When do you think they're going to ever mention the giant Eternal that's sticking out of the earth?
It was in She-Hulk on a webpage on the side, if you look carefully.
Oh, really?
Yes, there was a little thing about why is there...
Yeah, it's acknowledged. Get over it. It's over now.
Why is there a giant head poking out of the earth? So apparently, Hawkeye was originally going to be a movie, and they pivoted and turned it into a TV show, which I don't know if maybe it would have worked better as a movie. Because then the last episode gets all crazy and just shoves all these things in at the last minute, and you're like, "What the fuck? What's happening? It's too much."
I think there's that, and I think going back to the Black Panther thing, there's that, and there's a sudden pivot to almost leaning too far towards the comedy that I think Marvel needs to take a couple steps back on.
Yeah, Black Panther, I think, will definitely write that and be like, oh, this shit is serious again, and it's amazing. But you're right.
I felt like the early phases, don't get me wrong, there's still some fun Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But I felt like the early phases sprinkled in the humor.
Yeah.
It almost felt situational.
Yeah.
And part of the characters, whereas now they're aiming for the humor.
They're making straight up comedy
I mean, you look at She-Hulk, and they're going for it.
Yeah, and the Thor movies.
The stories are so much weaker that they need those jokes to prop it up. And if they don't work, then you got two things that are failing at the same time, which is not good.
All right, let's follow that up with another crazy kind of a rumor that I've seen here. We talked about the Thunderbolts and how it's a shame William Hurt passed away because he can't be Thunderbolt Ross to be the Red Hulk. Well, again, Jeff Snyder coming in again, apparently is saying that there was speculation that Marvel was looking to recast General Ross with who? With a young Harrison Ford.
Oh, shit.
As a possible General Ross replacement. First of all, what do you guys think of that? I think that's great. Give me Harrison Ford in the MCU as General Ross all day.
Yeah, I think he'd be just fine, even probably better, just as awesome. I worry about him. He's like 80.
He is extremely old. He's just finished.
He's very old.
It's the last Indiana Jones movie.
What's up with these old people?
Well, I mean,
Well, he's an old guy.
Redford was an old guy. William Hurt is an old guy.
Yeah.
The character is an old guy.
William Hurt is dead, so
right. That's what I'm saying. But
William
General
Hurt
Ross is an older gentleman.
Here's one you could do: just bring back Sam Neill from Hulk and have him be General Ross. Sam Elliott, excuse me.
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Oh yeah, he was Thunderbolt Ross in another movie.
In the Ang Lee one?
Ang Lee Hulk.
He was. Oh, he would be great. I love Sam Elliott, and
he's
his
almost 82.
Phenomenal.
But he's almost 80.
Yeah,
so.
he's got a great fucking voice. Yeah, Sam Elliott would be great. This is followed.
I don't think. You don't really even need to recast him if you don't want to.
Yeah, but if you want the Red Hulk in your Thunderbolts, that'd be nice. You need the General Ross.
Just make it like General Ross's bastard son or some shit.
Apparently, Marvel wanted to announce this at D23, where Harrison Ford was for Indiana Jones 5, but rumor has it Kathleen Kennedy put her foot down and blocked them and basically told them, you can't announce this because you're going to take away thunder from Indiana Jones or whatever. But that would have been nice if they had a double announcement. I get why she's doing that. If that was true, I get why she's looking out for her Lucasfilm property.
Because that would have overshadowed Indiana Jones.
That trailer has apparently leaked from D23. I didn't watch it. I don't want to watch it. I want to see it, but I want to see it nice. But he said this is the last Indiana Jones film. Apparently,
speaking of leaks, you didn't include it in the notes.
So you had sent me the leak trailer for Ant-Man Quantumania. Well, first of all, I want to watch these nice. I don't want to watch these shitty videos. Right. But by the time I clicked on that, it had been deleted. Yes. I
watched it a couple times. You did?
Okay. No. What can you say, spoiler-free, about this leaked Ant-Man 3 trailer?
I mean, it's exactly, if you read the internet,
the description.
You can read the description.
Yeah.
But the basic gist, did you watch it, Rux?
No.
The basic gist is they have a quantum tunnel machine and they get sucked in. The kid, Janet, Ant-Man, the Wasp, like a bunch of the whole family gets sucked in, including the kid. They're in the quantum realm. Janet Van Dyne runs into Bill Murray. Bill Murray's, it's like he hasn't seen her in a long time, and she's surprised. And Michael Douglas is like, what the hell?
Oh, they know each other.
Yeah, and then the end of the trail, it's a bunch of shots of the quantum realm, and then they run into Kang, played by what's his face, Jonathan Majors. Yeah. And they do the whole exchange where Ant-Man goes, I'm an Avenger. Jonathan Majors goes, have I killed you before? And Scott Lang's like, what? He's like, they all run together, basically. I lose track. And then he goes, the only way you're getting out of here, or something along those lines, is if you steal something from me. Someone stole something from me. I need you to get it back.
Yeah, it's a heist.
And he'll get out. And Scott Lang's like, we don't have a deal. And he's looking at like Cassie, who's being held hostage, and she's like, don't do it. And then Kang, like, I don't know, pushes him into the wall.
Okay.
And then it kind of ends like that.
So what is the tone of this one? Is it a
lot more serious than the other two ones? At least from the trailer. It's not as goofy, especially when Kang walks in.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the purple or blue face.
Oh, he's just wearing, Jonathan Majors.
But he's wearing like a purple metallic futuristic outfit.
Okay.
And he's not playing the character like he did in Loki, where he was all schizophrenic.
Right. It's a different person.
He's much more reserved and calm, and like he's playing it as if he's been there, done that, and he's not really impressed by anything that's going on.
That would have been Kang, like he was a variant, but this variant is badass. Okay, that's interesting. Why don't Marvel just put out these give me the Indiana Jones trailer, put out this Ant-Man trailer. I don't know what you're waiting for. The things are leaking on the internet. Just fucking put it out.
Yes.
Put it out.
It's interesting that they did Kang. They introduced Kang in the Ant-Man movie, but from what I read, they wanted to make this movie. They wanted to put some life in the Ant-Man series and maybe make this a little bit more important to the overall universe.
Yeah,
because those movies have kind of just been in their own little pocket.
Yeah, they've been just kind of like fun side movies. But Paul Rudd, Ant-Man's character, has a big part in the Avengers movie, so it's time for some real shit to go down in one of these fucking Ant-Man movies.
Well, they've built it up enough. Like, they built up the character enough that he could be a legitimate part of the universe. So, yeah, let's have some shit happen in this movie. That's some important shit. Why not?
Put it out, Marvel. In the meantime, listener, check out our TeePublic shop. You can buy some fun podcast swag. Be the envy of your friends. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop to get some hoodies or t-shirts or mugs. All that fun stuff. Lots of sales going on over there. Okay, last thing in the news. This is actually not a Marvel piece of news. It's about another franchise. Anthony, your favorite franchise, Planet of the Apes.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I do enjoy that franchise.
I know it's one that you've grown up with. That's kind of fond childhood memories.
Both, yeah. I grew up with it, and then I really like the new movies, too. So, yeah, I did see they announced Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Even though the trilogy, Matt Reeves' trilogy, ended in 2017 with War of Planet of the Apes, this is a continuation. And the title of this new movie, it's coming out in 2024, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, picks up many years after
Didn't
war.
I just say that?
Yes, Kingdom. I'm just reiterating in case people missed it.
All right.
But this one does not have Andy Serkis, or this is director Wes Ball, with cast members Freya Allen, Owen Teague, and Peter Macon. So is Caesar in this? Do you think it's still the story?
No,
of
he's
Caesar?
dead. He died.
He did die at the end of war, didn't he?
But I think he has kids. Or he had a kid that survived.
Yeah.
And they did that in the old movies. It was I believe the name was Cornelius was the father.
Yeah.
Played by I think it was Norm Macdonald. Right? Does that name sound
Not
right?
Norm Macdonald.
That's
Something-
not right at all.
He's also deceased.
Something McDowell, yeah.
McDowell.
McDowell.
Roddy McDowell.
Roddy McDowell, yeah.
Roddy McDowell.
He was Cornelius in the first couple movies.
Oh, right.
And then Dr. Cornelius with Dr. Zira, and then the fourth movie they had Caesar show up, but he was also played by Roddy McDowell.
Do we need more Apes movies? Like, that trilogy was great, and they could have let it rest for a little bit, but...
They're going to squeeze this for all its juice.
I mean, if they used the same mocap, like, the visual effects were stunning, and there's a piece of art where it shows, like, ape riding on a horse, and you see the broken down buildings with growth over them, like an apocalyptic Earth where they rule. I don't know how they taught those apes to ride the horses. It's amazing.
They can figure it out.
There's some
Is that
smart
from
that's some Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah, that's just Trevor Slattery. But Anthony, are you excited? Do we need more? We always take another Apes movie, regardless.
Well, here's the thing about the Apes movies is they did this reversed, where they actually showed the revolution first.
Right.
And in the originals, they did it from the future and then went to the revolution.
Oh.
So there's still plenty of story to tell about the future with the apes.
Right.
Where it's now legitimately a planet of the apes. The original trilogy is a freaking masterpiece, especially the last two. Like, they're modern cinematic blockbuster masterpieces.
You talking about the 60s ones?
No. These
the Matt
last
Reeves
three.
ones. Yes.
The 60s ones are solid.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 60s, 71. There's some gems in there, but they're of its time. And I like those movies, but they're of its time.
Yeah.
I think there is more story to tell. I think I don't mind having a different director and a different cast and seeing because there is plenty of story to tell. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I like the Apes movies.
Yeah.
As long as they keep the same kind of, they treat it seriously, which they did.
Yeah.
In these first three of the new age, as long as they treat it seriously, I think that there's lots of things they can tell about the future and apes and all that shit.
Rugs, you in? Comment? Anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain to see where they're going with it. Like, are they going to do this whole thing with like, there's a smart human and all the humans are dumb now, and there's one of them like shows up and like I
don't want to see any humans. Just give me some ape on ape war.
All ape shit. Like, we don't even know.
It's a lot of mocap.
I mean, the first one was this dumb humans, and they get the human. They did say in that first movie, I don't know if you remember, but there was a tease at the end where the ship launched at the end that was named the same ship from the original Planet Apes.
Oh, right. It did go into space. The one
went into space.
Charlton Heston's in there.
Right, Charlton Heston's character. They went into space, and then the apes took over. So that ship could land.
Oh yeah, maybe he comes back.
You kind of retell that story. I mean, there was also the second one, which was really wacky, where you had humans living underground worshiping a nuclear bomb. I don't know if you guys remember that one. That was fucking weird movie. But there's still things they could do. I don't think the story's not. I don't think the story's.
I
dead.
think Marky Mark needs to show up.
Oh, he was in the Tim Burton one, right?
That
Say hi to your mother for me.
What's up, Ape? How you doing, Ape? Why are you looking at me like that? Say hi to your mother for me, Ape. That movie was horrible, and you could tell Tim Burton didn't want to make the movie. While you're watching the movie, you're like, oh yeah, this is where he checks out. But with mocap the way it is and technology, like, it could look beautiful. So yeah, maybe Charlton Heston shows up. I'm in.
Oh jeez.
Give us more apes. All right, that's a good place to take a break right there for some promos, and we're gonna come back and talk about a mullet as a lead actor in an amazing 90s action movie. Best mullet you're ever gonna see. Right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Dig
on America.
Your organization's terrible.
Hey guys, this is Jason Dutch with Dig on America podcast, and I'm here with
Big Hops.
Do you have to say your name so weird?
How you want me to say?
And I'm also here with
Mikey Famine.
the excuser.
Do it over. No, it's staying.
No, it's staying the way it is because this is the way the show is. Dig on America here, we explore how American history, policies, and sometimes even our pop culture created the social and political issues facing Americans today. A little bit about us.
I'm your resident brother of the league. I love America so much that I demand she be better through constant criticism and protest. Thank you.
And in your Obama voice, Mikey, I don't like Obama.
Of course you don't. You also don't like bathing and healthy meals. What Dig on America is it's a healthy criticism of a country.
America's already perfect. You should know we're perfect just like my hands.
Well, I mean, a lot of people might say that, but those people probably haven't gone to school or brushed their teeth today. So, we're going to ignore them. But yeah, check out our show. It's unbeholden to any corporate overlords, except for Jay-Z, the Bilderberg Foundation.
George Soros sponsors.
George Soros, the Clinton Foundation.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget Emotep.
You can check out our website, digonamerica.com. You can check out all of our audio. We're on every single fucking audio podcast app there is out there, Pandora, Spotify, etc. Subscribe on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/DOA podcast. Hopefully you'll listen to the show, guys.
I won't.
Go fuck yourself.
Dig on America.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and the entertainment value we give, you can give back to the years of fun we've been putting out for free on the internet. Give back to the show. Join our fan club on Patreon. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can support the show on a monthly or annual basis. And there's tiers with benefits like exclusive podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's bonus content. We get access to our Discord server where we do monthly geek hangouts. And there's a tier where you can force us to watch and review any movie you want. It's a lot of fun over there. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And that's what we're doing this week. We have a Patreon movie pick all loaded up and ready to go. This one sponsored by listener and Patreon supporter Ralph Bravo, who has been a patron for 44 months.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Ralph, for your continued support.
Yes, thank you.
He has picked for us. Everybody strap in. We are going to be reviewing the 1993 Jean-Claude Van Damme action epic Hard Target. Here's your spoiler alerts, just because it's fun.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
On Rotten Tomatoes, Hard Target sitting at a 60% tomato meter. 5.5 out of 10. What is Rotten Tomatoes now? Fuck them. 49% average audience score. This movie was made for $20 million and has closed with a box office of $74 million. R-rated, nice, slim, 97-minute runtime. Here's where the movie gets notable. It is directed by John Woo. This is John, the Hong Kong film director's first American Hollywood movie, his U.S. debut. And also, I believe this is the first movie to be directed by an Asian filmmaker from Hollywood. So he's breaking down doors here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was that?
Asian filmmaker
Yes.
Yes. Really?
No.
First major Hollywood film made by a Chinese
major
director.
studio.
Okay, specifically Chinese. First major Hollywood movie made by a Chinese director.
Really? I
Yes.
don't know.
That's what the Wikipedia says.
Okay, whatever. Okay, I'll go with it.
Challenge the Wikipedia.
I'll allow it.
This movie was written by Chuck Farrar, who is in the movie. It's kind of fun. The writer is in the movie and loosely based on the classic story, The Most Dangerous Game from the 20s that was previously made into a movie in the 1930s. The movie stars, of course, Jean-Claude Van Damme as Chance Boudreaux. You got Lance Henriksen as the bad guy. You got Yancey Butler as the female lead. Regs, where do you know Yancey Butler from? I was like, I know this girl from somewhere. Yes, she was Witchblade, a short-lived TV show and made-for-TV movie based on.
She's known
comics.
as the woman with the very raspy voice.
She looks like Witchblade.
She looks like she smokes lots of cigarettes.
Yes, and also Arnold Vosloo as the other bad guy, Van Cleef and Lance Hendrickson and Chuck Farrar, I said, and a bunch of other people. Anthony, what happens in Hard Target?
Hard Target is set in New Orleans and is about these rich people, this group of people that have basically set up a hunting scheme of live humans, former homeless Marines, it sounds like, or homeless military people are being hunted by rich people, set up in New Orleans by Lance Hendrickson and his Lance Hendrickson playing Emil Fouchon and his lackey Arnold Vosloo playing Peek Van Cleef, and they've set up to hunt, as mentioned, homeless military people with no background, no family or whatever. And in the opening scene, they end up hunting the wrong guy. They hunt a guy that does have a family member looking for him, played by the girl that smokes a lot of cigarettes. What's her name? Cassie.
Yancey Butler. Natasha Binder. So the guy they're hunting is the writer of the movie in the beginning.
Okay,
that's
so
him. Yeah,
Natasha Binder, she's looking for her dad, who they hunted in the first scene of the movie, and she stumbles upon Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's a out-of-work Cajun Marine guy playing Chance Boudreaux, and she ropes him into looking for the mystery surrounding her dad, and they uncover this secret organization that are hunting people.
And the hunted becomes the hunter, and the other way around, I guess.
The hunters become the hunted.
The hunters become the hunted.
It's in the commercial.
Because it's Van Damme. Yes, your basic, most dangerous game setup of hunting humans. I'm going to start with Ruggs.
Yeah.
Ruggs, start us off on this movie.
All right, so I saw this when I was like a kid. I was like maybe like just out of high school. At this point in time, Jean-Claude Van Damme was just shitting out movies like he had fucking movie diarrhea. He was just making movies like nonstop, and I think he did Street Fighter after this. Did he? I'm not sure. So he's making movies, tons of movies, and this is like the fifth or sixth Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that I've seen, and this is the first time where I felt like it was like almost bordering on parody of Jean-Claude Van Damme. And John Woo, even though I had probably heard of The Killer at this point or seen The Killer at this point by John Woo and Hard Boiled, like those movies were in my sphere because I hung out with some people who were really into movies back in those days. I had not seen it with an American cast, with an American feel, with all of that stuff. And so I was down for this movie when I went to go see it. And I literally forgot how hilarious it was until I watched it again. There was time I fell off of my couch onto the floor. I threw shit at my TV. I bellowed loudly. I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, how did I not do? Like, I remember being in the theater and like being like, all right, it's a pretty cool movie. He's got some contrived action and like whatever. But like now, I think it's because movies have gotten so conventional and so like whatever. Like this thing is just ridiculous. It's a fucking ridiculous film. There's so many things I could talk about, but like we have to just address the mullet first, because Anthony, I don't want to step all over you because I know you got shit to say, but
yeah, go for it.
Like the opening shot, with the first time you see Van Damme, you don't see his face. No, you see his fucking mullet. Yeah, they zoom in with like a pan to the back of his head.
It's his mullet, then like his earring and his jaw, and then like his eyes.
He's eating
all
gumbo.
These close-up shots.
He's eating gumbo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this movie, John Woo was like, I want you to see the mullet. I don't. That's my. I don't know. It's not even an Asian accent. I think that's. I think I did Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, I think I just did Jean-Claude Van Damme as John Woo. Yes. So
continue.
Yeah. So I feel like Even John Woo thought the mullet was something worth
or Van Damme
exploring.
convinced him to shoot the mullet. Always be shooting the mullet.
Yeah, so I think the mullet is just as big of a star in this film as Van Damme.
Oh, it's a character.
Yeah.
It's the way it flows.
There are
in
so
slow
many
motion.
things you could talk about. Like, how many flips does he do in this movie?
Oh my God.
He's constantly flipping. He's
Yeah.
flipping over things. He's flipping while things are exploding.
Through fire, over cars. Oh, it's amazing. There's so many great John Woo things. Anthony, opening thoughts. I find this is a great introduction to American audiences to John Woo's style.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Face Off, and this is obviously very, very similar. You have doves, you have a lot of slow motion, you have Mexican standoffs, you have the back-to-back scene with Jean-Claude and Piet van Cleef, played by Arnold Vosloo. You have Henriksen and Arnold Vosloo are great villains in this.
Great villains. Great bad guys.
Van Damme is Van Damme.
Yeah, he barely said
him,
anything. Yeah.
Yeah. You got, I mean, it's like Rugg said, it's pretty ridiculous. You got him punching a snake.
Yeah.
You got him like he's shooting people. He's like flipping and then shooting people, and after all, they've already been shot before they fall down. He roundhouse kicks them in the face.
he empties a clip. He empties like there's unlimited fucking ammo in this movie. Like
nobody
40
reloads.
rounds into a guy, and then he'll kick him and roundhouse kick him. Like it's just
it's so ridiculous.
He'll kick a gas can up and shoot it, and it will send the guy through the window.
Face Off was so much more restrained than this. Face Off was so much more like played. They tried to ground it somewhat. This has like none of that. There's like no grounding in this movie. This movie is fucking insanity.
It's got the John Woo tracking shots of weapons, of arrows, right? He holds a gun upside down with one hand while he hits the
He'll
trigger
show
with
you
the other
something
hand.
from 3 angles 3 times.
Yes. He's shooting, he's jumping and shooting with one gun, 2 guns, explosions behind him. He's swinging and shooting. And I love that when you jump through a room through the window as a grenade is being thrown past you.
He's done all of these things in other movies, John Woo.
Sliding on your back under a table and shooting up. Like, this is all classic John Woo.
There's some
Doves and
strange
birds
cuts in
for
this
no
movie.
reason.
Oh, he talks to a pigeon in this movie.
Yes. Why do birds like Chance Boudreaux? It's sitting on his shoulder. It's very strange.
He gets mad. He gets mad when someone shoots the birds.
I read that. I forgot that it was pigeons.
Yes.
I read that he wanted to use the doves, but he thought the pigeons would work better because they were more of the
area.
location.
Yeah.
Apparently, Woo had a really tough time filming this because he couldn't really speak English.
Yes. Yeah.
And he found that Van Damme was at this point full on ego.
Yeah.
But he also saw that Van Damme wanted to like do the spectacular shit,
Yeah.
so he like respected the way that Van Damme worked because he could work with him. Like, even though he had a big ego, it says he had a pretty big ego, but he's still professional and always tries to do a good job. So like, it was almost like a perfect, like one of the better pairings you could have for John Woo. You throw in Van Damme, who can do the martial arts aspect of it, and it almost like it's not perfect in the sense of Nick Cage and Travolta. I think that's a more perfect, where it's just they're so over the top, but Van Damme's a little more grounded. He just looks over the top. if that makes sense. Like, he can't be like super boisterous, but he looks like
his acting ability doesn't allow for him to be a character, but as an agent of death, like, there's no
Totally
way
believable.
this, like, you could take Face Off, but there's no way that John Travolta or Nick Cage is emptying 5 clips into people, then roundhouse kicking them, a cigar out of their mouth, and then firing a gun like upside down. Like, while he's holding it.
They're contrived action, but this is the art of John Woo. It's some of the most amazing contrived action you're ever going to see.
Can we talk about one particular shot?
Of course we can.
Because, like, this movie's fresh in my mind. I just saw it and I laughed so uncontrollably. But there's one scene where, like, Jean-Claude Van Damme is on a motorcycle.
Yeah, this is the best.
He's got to crash the motorcycle into the car, but he's got to stand on the motorcycle first and shoot a gun at the same time into the car before it slams in and obviously explodes. But the stuntman, his shirt is so puffy.
I was going to say that when it cuts to the
he
wide
looks like a
shot.
Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Yeah,
Man.
when it's the wide shot of the stuntman riding the bike, his shirt's all inflated, and then it cuts to John Woo, and he's clearly not going. Jean-Claude. He's clearly not going as fast. The shirt's barely moving.
He's like barely moving.
Yes, and then it cuts back to the stunt guy, and it's just like poof. So that stunt is still so great because, he notices the gas tank is leaking. He jumps, crashes the car into the truck, does a somersault over the truck, turns around.
He lands on his feet.
He pretty much lands on his feet, the stunt guy, and he kind of tumbles, turns around, shoots the motorcycle so it explodes. And then the best part of the whole movie is Jean-Claude Van Damme going, yeah, with his fucking bullet in the hair. I'm like, what is that? What was that expression? He just got off on it.
What also is funny too is it just makes no sense. He stands on the motorcycle going full speed where the car's firing at him, and it's like you're making yourself just the biggest target in the world.
Nobody's hitting
not
anybody.
at all a hard. You're actually an easy target,
a soft target,
pun intended. And it just seems it just works. Like he you just watch it and you go, this makes no goddamn sense, but damn, that's entertaining.
That's the thing is John Woo, he kind of created this gun fu. That's what you love in John Wick. It all comes, and you see John Woo influence in a lot of movies. Still, one we'll talk about later. And what are we watching? John Woo all over the place. I think even Snyder's slow-mos that's John Woo.
There's something about Jean-Claude doing this that makes it funnier.
Yeah.
Because if you watch Chow Yun-Fat do this shit, you're not laughing.
Badass. Yeah.
You're just thinking it's more badass than laughable. I mean, you're like still going, holy shit, what the fuck are they doing? But it's funny because it's like so absurd. It's absurd to the point of like just being like inconceivable. You're like, holy shit.
I mean, he is on horseback shooting a helicopter with a shotgun accurately. There's no way you're making a fucking shot. Meanwhile, the helicopter is shooting back and like fireworks are going off on the ground. Like, why is there fireworks? I don't understand.
Can I ask you this?
There's sparks.
Like at the end of the movie, when Lance Henriksen, how the fuck do you say his name? Lance Henriksen.
Yes,
he's on fire.
He's on fire. A lot of people are on fire.
He's fine.
By the way, that's a real thing. He actually caught on fire and they left it on the movie.
Yeah.
That wasn't planned because that was him on fire. His jacket.
He stayed in character and took off the jacket.
Holy shit! Wow, that was a great
stunt.
Go
ahead.
That's
he caught fire, and then he fights Jean-Claude Van Damme. Does Jean-Claude Van Damme put a grenade in him?
In his pants, down his pants,
but
and then he kicks him.
Does he die at that point? Or does he come back?
No, he pulls out the grenade and he diffuses it. And he thinks he got it, and then you see a spark and he goes, oops, and then he blows up and you see guts and shit blow up. So grenade down the pants, man explodes. Lance Henriksen has a great line where he just goes to the guy, you are a fucking buffalo, just for no reason. And it's hilarious.
That guy that Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks the cigar out of his mouth. What the fuck is up with his shirt? What was he wearing? It was like a red shirt, red and white and black shirt. That was just...
It was one of the
loudest fucking crazy...
The dudes hunting him that he got. Yeah, one of the people that would pay to hunt him.
I want that shirt. I want to get that shirt.
Forget about how much the movie just becomes joyful when fucking Wilford Brimley, his Uncle Duvet, shows up and he's just like, Chance, you come to visit me, Chance.
Yeah, his whole entire house is blown up now.
He blows up his own house, and then the shot of him on horseback with a bow and arrow with explosions behind him. I was like, I want to see a movie about Uncle Duvet being a badass. Like, he's fucking badass with that bow and arrow. I love Wilford Brimley.
Do you know that there's like another cut of this film?
There is a longer, more violent cut because
they had the MPAA really forced, or Universal.
Yeah, dozens of cuts to get it to an R rating. So somewhere out there is, I want to see this more violent cut. A little more backstory that I learned about this. Apparently, the producer, the writer, and Jean-Claude Van Damme flew to Hong Kong to convince John Woo to do this movie, and Woo agrees, except Universal wasn't sure about Woo directing the movie, and they send Sam Raimi down to set, speaking of Sam Raimi again, to hang out, getting ready to take over if something goes bad, and Raimi becomes one of John Woo's biggest defenders. He's an executive producer on the movie. There's a Ted Raimi cameo. Did you guys catch Ted Raimi?
No.
No.
And it's where The dude, the guy, his buddy who gets hunted, who escapes from the cemetery, he ends up on Bourbon Street, and he's
the guy,
the military vet, the guy that was like who knew her father.
yeah.
They went to, and then he takes the gig, right? And you learn about the $10,000 and the belt. He's on Bourbon Street asking for help, and he asks, and one of the people he harasses is Ted Raimi. And the guy's like, get off. And then just the fact that they're chasing down this dude in the middle of Bourbon Street is ridiculous because there's nobody around
there. They're like,
they blow him. They blow him
they
away.
make him Swiss cheese. It was
they
like
shoot
so
that
violent.
guy. They shoot Poe in the head in broad daylight, and there's just nobody around. And I'm like, where the fuck is everybody? I love the setting in New Orleans because I'm having just visited there in 2020. It still looks a lot like that.
Just visited. That's 2
That was
years
2 years ago, I guess.
Can we talk about? Can we talk about?
What?
Go ahead.
One thing, but before you get into your one, you talk about what you want to talk about. My running, just the New Orleans thing.
Yeah.
My running favorite thing about rewatching Jean-Claude Van Damme movies is how they explain away the fact that he has an accent.
Yes.
He's an American action hero, and I think this is one of the better ones. Where they're
works.
like, "Well, he's Cajun."
It kind of works here. Like you
it's
buy
not
it,
like
you're
it-
Even
oh,
though
yeah.
he doesn't talk like that.
Like not like in Double Impact where there's no conceivable way he should have a French accent. Like this one makes some sense. Like he's Cajun.
Because the other one was hard. The one I was thinking about was Hard Target, where they're like,
This is Hard Target.
he's American. He's an American firefighter, but he has accent. They go,
Death
well, he's
Warrant.
French Canadian.
Yeah.
Death Warrant.
Well, that's a
What's that?
You said
Sudden
Hard Target.
Death.
Sudden Death. Sudden Death.
that
Sorry,
one. Okay.
Sudden Death.
Yes.
Yeah, in that one,
a
he's
hockey
French.
movie.
They say he's
Yeah.
French Canadian.
Yeah,
So
that kind of works.
I love the way they have to explain away his accent.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Death Warrant, Sudden Death, Hard Target.
Lots of, I mean, one of my favorite lines, and there's a couple of questionable lines that didn't age well, a couple of homophobic lines, but where he goes, take your big stick and your boyfriend and find the bus to catch. The guy is just so funny. It makes no sense.
What about when the fat guy, the overweight guy that is I think he hires the Marine guys to hand out
Flyers
pics of girls,
yeah,
flyers of women,
to pimp girls, yeah.
And the guy has part of his ears cut off, and he's getting a massage. And then Jean-Claude Van Damme comes up behind him and interrogates him by starts like pushing his neck into the fucking massage chair.
Great, it's so great.
Ah!
And then they just blow his head off in daylight. What? A couple other things that didn't make sense to me in the beginning, after they kill the first guy, Binder, her father, who's the writer. The dude closes his eyes with his booted foot. I was like, I don't understand. He puts his fucking foot over his eyes, and then that's how he closes his eyes.
It's gonna
That
be
doesn't make any sense.
badass. Let's do it.
And why did the lady take the lit candle when she was singing herself and just put it in the drawer? She puts a fucking cupcake with a lit candle just in the drawer.
Like, how
nothing
dumb
catches
do
on
you
fire.
have to be to
Like,
do
what are
that?
you doing? Just put it out. What are you doing? And nothing catches on fire. I was like, what the fuck is going on
You're an
here?
idiot.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
And that's a police
also,
officer.
Chance visits the crime scene and finds an important piece of evidence that the cops completely just missed, was the other dog tag. I was like, they didn't find that? There's no tape anywhere. I don't understand what's going on.
I like how he had that realization that there's two dog tags, so he talked to the bird.
Because of the bird showed up.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, he can telepathically talk to birds in this
Yeah,
movie.
the bird gave him the clue. The bird
Yes.
knew.
It makes no sense. He's got, like, the secret power. It's Birdman.
Another thing is, I like how Yancey Butler shows up in a freaking blue IROC. In a blue
Oh, yeah,
Camaro.
that car's awesome. Yeah, the fucking IROC.
And that first intro of like, of course the guys are gonna go and shake her down, and Jean-Claude's got to come out like kicking the guy in the face.
I love that first fight.
He moves his jacket like he's in a fucking Western, and he doesn't have a gun. He just has feet
It's
of
his
fury.
leg. Yes, his leg is the deadly weapon. He's the deadly weapon.
How about the fact that he's wearing a full-on trench coat and it's got to be like
it's New Orleans.
90 degrees in New Orleans at that point.
All the time.
He's just wearing
That's a
that
John
full
Woo
trench
thing.
coat.
That's a John Woo thing.
Yeah,
Trench
there's
coats.
a lot of John
Also,
Woo
you just you get the girl the guy shaking down the hot girl, and then slapping her in the face. You just get the full misogyny right off the bat.
They were supposed to have like a romance, but they
It didn't need it. I'm glad they
edited it
didn't
out.
force that. Yes.
I can always do for a nice little sex scene with Jean-Claude.
With Jean-Claude, let's see.
I need
Take
to
his
show
shirt
off my butt cheeks. I've been working out.
I mean, the rattlesnake scene is also another.
my God.
I don't understand
classic
why he
scene.
bit the fucking thing off. Why?
Because he set the snake as a
So
trap.
it wouldn't rattle.
Yeah, so they wouldn't know, they wouldn't hear it, and
They wouldn't hear it
yeah.
rattling when it got close. What I don't understand about that is why does he think the snake would just stay there?
I did, and attack
like
the person he wants.
The bird told me what to tell the snake.
Yes, he can talk to animals. He's
Yes,
Dr.
I can
Doolittle
talk
over
to the
here.
pigeon.
This fucking guy. This pig told me where to go. Come on, Uncle Duvet.
I mean, that last scene at the end, it's just so insane that he takes out like 50 guys. I mean, it's like commando style,
great.
but he's doing it in it's first an abandoned steel mill, and then it's an abandoned
Mardi Gras
float thing.
Great.
Like
So
it turns into that. It's like two different abandoned things.
Yes. That's why I love like New Orleans is also becomes a character in the movie. Like it's very New Orleans. Yes, and then the line, he's got great lines. How does it feel to be hunted? And then before he drops the grenade down, he goes, "Hunting season is over." And he puts the grenade in the guy's pants. Yes. It's got everything. The bad guys are sufficiently bad, right? They're like
you got two good bad guys.
Lance Henriksen is great.
and the other guy, Arno Vosloo are great. They're like legitimately, you want to see them get their ass kicked because there's a sense of like they can intimidate you.
Yes, they were definitely.
Vosloo I forget who cuts off parts of the guy's ear.
Yeah,
I think
scissors.
I think it was late.
Yeah, with scissors. I mean, Vosloo is great.
Yeah.
I really like. I like their back-to-back scene, him and Jean-Claude, more than I like Travolta's and Cage.
Yeah, the back-to-back and then turn around and shoot and miss.
Simply because both of them have accents. And they're both foreign as shit and badass. I like the fact that they're both these foreign guys talking shit to one another.
He's got a weird accent. Yeah, Vosloo.
He's the guy's South African.
Oh, he's South African. Van Cleef. He has that line after he cuts that. He goes, "I have to come back. I'll cut a steak. Next time, I'll cut a steak."
Yeah.
And in a way, you can kind of see this as like, if you really want to take a subtle commentary on like the treatment of military veterans and the failing of social services as they were using these guys.
There is that aspect. Like if you really want to dig for it, it's there.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch this as a surface level action movie, it's all there as well.
One of the things I also enjoy is the all denim Jean-Claude Van Damme outfit.
The denim shirt is fantastic.
Like denim shirt, jeans,
Canadian tuxedo.
So 90s.
Yeah, Canadian. Chuck Norris was like, "Yes, I like this. I can respect this."
This denim
Chuck Norris goes, "Man, my ass never looked as good like that in jeans." What makes it more than surface level too is the fact that it's John Woo, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a ton of these 80s, 90s action movies that are similar in terms of action and it just being a 90-minute movie. You throw in the John Woo-isms, what you said, the 15 different shots of one scene.
The style.
The weird.
Yeah.
There's one scene where they just zoom in on Van Damme's eyes before he's about to do something. The pigeons, the back-to-backs, then you throw, like, I wonder who, like, you get the perfect combination of Woo going, shoot him 50 times, and then Jean-Claude goes, "But I want the roundhouse kick him in the face." So you get the perfect combination of both of those guys. Like, Nicolas Cage adds the insanity, but you're not getting that physicality that Jean-Claude brings.
The other story I read was like John Woo was really excited to work on a Hollywood movie because he got more resources that he's not used to in China and Hong Kong. So there was tons of cameras, but apparently Van Damme wanted him to add another camera that was always focusing on his biceps, specifically his arm muscles. He wanted a bicep cam, and John Woo has said he did shoot that. He just never ended up using any of it.
No, there's a bicep thing at the end, right? When they like do a slow pan of his like arms.
Oh, when he's like, he's like raging out or something. I think in that last battle. So maybe he did, but a lot of this I think is Van Damme going, "Shoot my hair, shoot my arm."
Doesn't Van Damme like stop like a 2x4 on fire and just holds it?
Oh yeah, he's holding it and his hand doesn't catch on fire and then he just breaks through it and the thing's on fire. He's fucking badass.
Oh yeah,
I also read that Woo wanted to shoot things from all different angles, and like at first they were like, "We don't do it like this. Like, you don't need this many angles of stuff," and he had to like communicate somehow like this would work.
The other difference he encountered, he said in Hong Kong, in that industry, the director is like the final say. He gets the last word, the last cut. He is everything. Whereas here, he thought it was interesting that Van Damme, the star, gets some input. He gets final cut. Producers get final cut. So more resources, a little bit less control compared to what he was used to. He also wanted Kurt Russell initially to be in this. Kurt Russell,
you would never
busy.
get the amount of physicality that you got with Van Damme. You would never.
You'd get I think you'd get a cooler guy in a different aspect. Like the one-liners, I think would be like the guy would be much smoother, whereas Van Damme's physical charisma and his look is what's carrying.
I think it would have been more. The difference between this and a lot of John Woo movies is that Chow Yun-fat and everybody that he usually has in his movies are not typically like guys who do like flying roundhouse kicks and that type of karate shit. They just are usually just shooting the shit out of each other with guns. So in this aspect, I think you're getting something that you wouldn't normally see in a John Woo film, which I think that's what makes this movie a little bit special, is that you do have these two freight trains colliding. You got the Van Damme train of just like accents and mullets and denim jeans and flying kicks and biceps and, whatever. And then you got on the other side, you just got, we're going to shoot everything 1,000 times. And we're going to just we're doing all the greatest hits from like Hard Boiled and The Killer. We're going to throw them all in there for you.
It is all his greatest hits, and just like Americans hadn't seen it.
All that.
Yeah, just Hollywood hadn't seen it. The Chinese audience has seen it.
After going through this John Woo little spree with Hard Target and Face Off, I haven't seen the one. What was it? What was the one in the middle? Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow. Yes.
Mission Impossible 2 and Broken Arrow.
Yes.
What I wanted to say is, I wish all the 80s, 90s guys got one movie with John Woo.
Right?
I wish, literally, I wish Schwartz, I wish Stallone, I wish even Seagal, everybody. Brandon Lee, I wish they all would have got one movie with John Woo.
Everybody should have gone through there, yes.
Everyone should have got a John Woo experience.
Because his style is like, it enhances whoever is the leader.
It makes the movie at least 5 times more memorable when you throw in John Woo stuff.
I think I really like. It's the worst Mission Impossible movie, but it's also the best Mission Impossible movie because it's not a Mission Impossible. It's a John Woo movie.
Right.
Is that part 2?
Yeah, Mission Impossible 2. There's you got pigeons, you got fucking everything's being shot 1,000 times. There's fucking
So let me ask you
violence.
this. Would you consider this a Van Damme movie or a John Woo movie? Or is it both?
Oh, it's a Van Woo movie.
Is it a Van Woo movie?
I was going to say, I think it leans more John Woo, but I think there's an argument to be made that it is almost the perfect blend of both.
It kind of is. That's why, like you said,
I keep harping on it, but in Rugg said it too. But unloading a clip and roundhouse kicking someone in the face, I'd never seen that in my fucking life.
It's great. It's great. Just like fucking gun food.
The amount of flips that are done, the amount of roundhouse kicks that are done after someone's already been shot 1,000 times. It's just excess. It's just like, we're not even trying to fucking be real. We're just fucking going to the nth degree. And it is kind of incredible. Like just how, like you're watching it and you can't even believe what you're seeing. I had to laugh. I had to laugh out loud. I couldn't even stay still in my seat because I was just like, oh my God.
It's so fun. Is this a top 5 Van Damme movie? Like, is it up there?
Oh,
one of
for
his
sure.
best, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's got to be. I'd have to look at the list, but I mean, it's got to be up there.
It's crazy because at the time these movies were coming out, I was watching a lot of Jackie Chan. I was watching a lot of John Woo, and there was just a lot of this like contrived action shit coming out. And so this kind of got lost. But now that I have a lot of perspective on it and I haven't seen shit like this in a while, I just remember how incredibly crazy it was. Like that it's just brazen. Like there's no, I mean, they're just like,
yeah, that's a great word.
Like they're just like, we're fucking doing it. And you're just like, are you serious? And you're just, all right, I'm either along for the ride or I'm not. And I think that that's kind of fun, a fun experience when we've been kind of like having these kind of like mediocre or very like bland films, like to see something that's just not bland is fun.
That's why the John Wicks are
and they just don't make movies like this anymore.
Yeah.
They don't even, this movie is going straight to Amazon or even like less at this point. Even then, like Netflix, you throw, but there's always like a weird hook or something on that. Like you just don't get an action movie for the sake of being an action movie. And what I was pausing on when you guys were talking is it made $74 million in 1993.
Yeah.
the equivalent to that now with inflation, that would have made $152 million.
That's a solid movie.
Time.
If you,
So, which would that be? That's a fucking hit, especially for a non IP movie.
Yeah,
like this movie did really freaking well.
I mean, I've always loved John Woo's style.
Van Damme was the tier right below Stallone and Schwarzenegger, but he wasn't too shabby at the box office.
No, he was right behind them. I also found this really interesting video on YouTube, apparently rare footage. The video, I linked it in here. It's called Jean-Claude Van Damme Presents the Moving Camera for Hard Target. And there's a little message from Van Damme I'll play because it's hilarious. But it's a little behind the scenes look at they were testing camera rigs. And back in 93, they had like a first person camera on a guy riding a motorcycle. They were using drone cameras. Like flying cameras that were controlled. And then there's this crazy rig. It's like a zip line with 2 camera operators sitting on it, flying by along with the motorcycle. Like a lot of shit ahead of its time. And then let's just hear, there's a fucking drone camera. Back then, he's using drone cameras to shoot a lot of this footage. And then here is Van Damme. Okay, hold on. Here is Van Damme's message. Let's see what he says.
No way to get the shot? Not a problem. With machines like these, we can move the camera in new and even more exciting ways.
That's it. That was all that message. But it's a fun look at behind the scenes of like how they were, inventing new ways to fly this camera around. You see it in this movie. It's pretty dynamic.
Yeah, it's just I watched it a few weeks ago on my Van Damme spree, and I came out of that going, that was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
It's just a fun movie on rewatch. Endlessly fun. There was a sequel in 2016. Don't worry about that one. The less about that one, the better.
Scott Adkins, I think.
Oh wait, if it doesn't have John Woo in it, then if it was Scott Adkins and John Woo, maybe I would watch it. But
I think it was straight to video. It was not John Woo. It was some other director, but Scott Adkins.
Even the Wu-Tang, just a Woo involved.
If there's any Woo, Method Man, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Old dirty bastard. All right. Lots of fun. Let's rate this movie, Anthony. What would you give it?
You guys almost make me want to give it a higher rating than I initially gave it, but I'm going to stick with the rating I gave it originally just because I haven't seen it as recently as you guys. But I had it at a 7.5.
Okay,
no, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Well, you guys almost convinced me to make it an 8 or an 8.5. But 7.5 out of 10. I think it's definitely a top 5 Van Damme movie. If I had to just spit them out right now, I'd probably go in no particular order: Bloodsport, Universal Soldier, Hard Target, Time Cop, and maybe Kickboxer. But that could change.
Solid top 5 there.
There's some really solid Van Damme movies, but this is a lot of fun. I think I like, if I'm comparing it to Face Off is a bit more iconic just because of the premise and some of the lines. Like I think the lines there are more memorable than in Hard Target.
I think it gels better as a film too. It just it really does.
Yeah. I agree. But I think Hard Target is just one of those where you watch it and I go, man, I can't believe I never saw this.
Yes, it is a must watch.
Yeah.
It is also part of our 90s action movie tournament. So it
is in the tournament.
This is great. We got to do this. Yeah. Ruggs, what would you give it?
I would give it a 7. But in my heart, it's like a 11 in some ways because just in the way, how incredulous it is. Just like how much fucking not giving any fucks. Like John Woo was like, we're just doing it. Yeah, Jean-Claude wants to fuck around, house kick somebody after he empties a clip. Let's let him do it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Like, no problem.
Fire?
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
Through fire.
Let's just do it. And it's funny.
And shoot accurately as you're landing from your backflip through the fire in the air. I'm going to give it an 8, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Face Off is great, primarily because you got Nick Cage acting fucking all crazy, but this is a great intro for American audiences into John Woo's style, and you see his influence on action movies to this day. Just always loved the John Woo, and I think he got noticed because I think The Killer was playing in some film festivals, and then people started noticing him, and he just finished Hard Boiled before this, which is another great movie. But if you like this, I check out the Chow Yun-Fat John Woo movies where
definitely
You got him sliding down a railing, holding a baby, shooting like 100 dudes. It's amazing. He's holding a baby. The baby's fine. So crazy shit like that. It's an 8 for me. It's just a fucking fun movie. Everybody should watch Hard Target.
They're enjoyable films. Like they're ridiculous. You can't take them seriously at all.
Ralph Bravo, great pick. Thank you for your support.
Also helped us because you got these guys to watch this movie because they
it killed
our,
two birds
tournament. Yeah,
one
you got them to do the homework.
Yes, so definitely great.
At some point, we're gonna have to set a date for that.
I
90s
know
tournament.
we said that last week.
You got to talk to Bilotti on the side and figure out when we can do this in November or December.
Yes, we're gonna push it back a little bit, but it'll give you a chance to catch up. I should put the list out. Maybe I'll put the list out of the movies in our Facebook group so everybody can see it. Speaking of the nation, let's do news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks.
Ruggs, you kind of mentioned this earlier, but Nick Shev posted this comment. Anyone else hear about Sam Raimi directing Blade? Is this for real, or is this just another motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill?
I don't know, but you just told me about John Woo. They just had Sam Raimi hanging around.
Raimi hang around in case John Woo.
They just sent Sam Raimi to just fucking babysit.
They had no faith. The studio had no faith in the John Woo, and Raimi's like, this guy knows what he's doing, and he fucking fully supported him.
I mean, he's in the stable now.
And he's a good horror director.
I don't know what he's working on now, but I think that Raimi should be making that fucking Xena movie, and let's get on that shit. Let's go. But he would be cool for this. Blade, I don't know. I think I'd like to see somebody who's a little bit more on a serious tip, but Raimi could pull it off. He's good at scaring the shit out of people.
I like that Raimi is in the MCU, but and they pull from within when these things happen. They'll find someone, but I don't know who.
But after that music battle in Doctor Strange,
with the notes, come on, there's musical notes.
I'm worried.
Fighting.
I'm a little bit worried about old Raimi.
What do you think, Anthony? Could you Sam Raimi doing Blade, or you want somebody else?
I think the name that I saw thrown out there that is completely unrealistic was Guillermo del Toro.
I thought about him, but there's no way.
Did a Blade, yeah.
Yeah, he did the second one, right?
Yep, he did Blade too.
Yeah.
So, I'm not. I wouldn't say I want Raimi doing it. I like Raimi. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it fits the tone. His tone doesn't fit. I don't even really think it fit Doctor Strange 2, to be honest. But it definitely doesn't think. I don't think it fits Blade.
Maybe the guy who directed this Werewolf by Night that'll be out later this week. We will review it next week. We'll see how he does. Maybe he's got the taste for it. But they'll get somebody. But this is again bad news for Blade. And then the other
Adam
comment,
Wingard.
He's busy with Godzilla versus King Kong 2 or something. The other comment I have is from listener group member Rodney Simon. This will roll into what are we watching. He says, after finally watching She-Hulk, it hit me that we are watching the origin of the MCU West Coast Avengers. Who will be on that team?
Oh, that's a silver lining.
That could happen. Maybe that could amount to something with this show then. It's a good question. Like maybe they're setting up for that.
Are they on the West Coast? I forgot. I don't even know.
Is she in California?
No,
where
does it take
place? Is it New York?
She's in New York, yeah.
Oh,
I think. Maybe. No, I don't know.
I don't know where they are. I think is it L.A.? I don't even know.
It's not like
that's how
West
bad
Coast.
the show is. I don't even know where it takes place.
Okay, let's just get into what are we watching. Let's start with She-Hulk, who had.
Do we want to do the shows or things? Do we want to start with the shows and then we'll end with other things besides the shows?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
It took me 2 minutes to say something so
yes,
simple.
We will start with the shows because there's a lot of shows. Everybody watched the new She-Hulk, right?
I did, yes.
So Jen gets caught up in Emil Blonsky's retreat where he's trying to help bad guys center themselves and come to peace. And I thought this episode was a little bit... spoilers, sorry. For everything we're going to talk about.
Spoilers for everything.
For everything. I thought it was a little bit better than last week. There was a little heart, a little more emotion. Like she comes to revelation about her character. And I loved the supporting cast... fucking Man Bull and El Aguila and fucking Porcupine, where he's like, That's Porcupine. He's a porcupine. I thought it was hilarious. It was hilarious. What'd you guys think this week? Better or not?
I think the jokes worked a little bit better in this one, but it's just marginally better. Like this show is like
there's 2 more left now, I think.
This show is kind of like fizzling out as far as interest for me. I think I've seen everything that we need to see, and I don't know what else is in the tank for the show. Like we got to find out who these incels are, I guess.
Yeah, we still don't know who the bad guy is or who's hunting her or if they're actually hunting her. But we do know that dude Josh. Was anybody thought he was shady to begin with? Because he ended up.
For sure.
Yeah, Anthony, what'd you think? Better this week?
Well, first off, kudos to I think he's a Filipino, so that's I'll pull an Imran and be like, I love that guy. Yeah, that guy's great. That guy, anything that guy stars in, we should talk about.
He's your new guy. I don't even know what his name is.
He's my guy. I don't know his name, but he's my guy. This episode was better. I did find when Porcupine takes off his mask and everyone's like, dude, what the hell?
Smells like
I thought that was kind of
farts
funny.
Or something, yes.
The episode, I mean, this is Marvel's sitcom. It's very sitcom-y. This is all kind of in line with what they're trying to do. The only thing that I was kind of bothered by is the fact that she just is next to one of the wrecking crew people.
Yeah.
And she gets mad and throws him, and then she doesn't talk to him about, hey, why the hell were you attacking me?
Right.
Why didn't you? I don't know if she remembers that they were trying to take her blood, but she's just so cool with just sitting there next to him after
whatever.
That incident.
We're friends now. We're buds.
Yeah, it was just kind of strange. I didn't even know why he's there. That whole part of that episode was strange as fuck. So yeah, we're here where we're at, and I think the show, I liked it better in the beginning. I don't think it was as bad as last week's. But yeah, we got 2 more episodes.
Trevor
left,
Salter is that dude's name who played Josh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate the show. I kind of just watch the show. It just kind of I'm glazed over.
I don't hate it either, but I feel like I don't know what it want. Does it want me to like the show? Does it want me to care about the show? I feel like it's just doing whatever it's doing, and it's not trying to be good. It's just doing what it wants to do, and I'm like, well. It's a Marvel show. It's in the Marvel universe. It should feel like, I don't know. It's a comic book show. Shouldn't it feel like superhero-y to some degree? Like she's a superhero? I don't know. It's just weird.
So Charlie Cox listed here in 2 episodes. It's got to be the next 2 episodes. We're going to get some kind of Daredevil. Because I think
there's a nice little boost from Charlie.
You know what I thought that was really funny, though, is that there was an ad that was released by Marvel that said, and I know it has to do with the show because there's the incels that hate She-Hulk in the show, but it's obviously meta because they're talking about incels in the real world.
Yeah.
And it says, some stuff is not made for you, incels. And then my thought was, guys who get laid don't like this either. So, either whether you're getting laid or you're not, the opinions are still, they have weight.
All right, that's She-Hulk. Let's talk about Andor. Anthony, did you watch the new episode?
Of course.
Yeah. Ruggs, you watched it?
Well, not of course, but I did. Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I was wrong about the time jumps between every 3 episodes, but I believe there's 3 episode arcs. So it ends really abruptly in the middle of a thing, but I really enjoyed this whole meeting the crew and this heist they're planning. I thought it was good. What do you guys think?
I'm trying to remember what happened.
Remember?
Well, yeah, he follows
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, he goes. Skarsgård's like, you can come with me and do a mission, and then do whatever you want afterwards. I think he says.
Right.
And then
they have you have to go and hang out with this girl who's doing a thing with this crew, and the girl has to pretend that
her idea.
Yeah, that was always part of the plan, and they're all skeptical of him. And then on the other side, Skarsgård is in the he's posing as a rare collecting
as an art
person,
dealer.
and he's dealing with a senator that's trying to get some information out of her some money.
Yeah.
And then those rogue
the cops
cops got discharged by the Empire.
Yeah.
And then there's one lady in the Empire that's trying to dig in a little deeper on what happened there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you got to see a little bit of like the rebellion from inside the Empire. And those shots are really cool, the way they show where those people live. You're seeing both sides. The fact Skarsgård is amazing. Like his transformation, he like puts on a wig, changes his clothes, and becomes like this whole different fucking person. That was wild. I love that. But yeah, this crew, they've been working on this thing for like months, and all of a sudden she's like, here's a new guy, and he's you're gonna have to work with him.
Well, the whole premise, at least of this section of the series, is them trying to jump in or break into a place that's impossible to break into to get some information, to get the pay records, right?
Oh, they're gonna steal the Imperial Empire's payroll. Yeah, and they have the whole plan, and they show you how to do it. So like that looks exciting. I can't wait to see how. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. Ruggs, what do you think of Andor so far, this one?
Well, it was hard for me to remember what happened. I don't know if that's a good thing, because I did watch it like fairly recently, but I kind of like, lost some of it. But overall, I think the tone's still good, and I feel like it is kind of espionage-y in all the right ways, and the tone is serious. I said it already, but like, I think that you have to say it twice, because Star Wars can be crazy and goofy. Yeah. And I'm very happy about that. So yeah, I feel like that we're in store for some other crazy shit. Like that last sequence that they had in with all the engines falling and stuff, that was really cool. And so if
that was the episode prior.
So if we get like a little bit of that every couple of episodes, like they sprinkle it around, I think it's pretty good.
I just don't like how it's like not episodic. Like it literally just stops when I was like at the best part. I was like, oh my God, I want to see the fucking heist. And then they don't show you the heist.
What do they stop at when they're planning?
They're still playing. They're sitting around the campfire, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna do this," and then it just fucking ends. I'm like, "God damn it!"
And they give him this data, and he has to read it in another language by the morning or something.
Oh, right. He has to learn everything. Yeah, he's like, memorize this. Here's the map. Memorize this by the morning, and then it just fucking ends. I'm like, God damn it! There's no kind of closure, but it's 3 episode arcs. But yeah,
I don't think it's a particularly memorable episode.
Yeah,
but it's completely in line with the tone they've established. So in that sense,
it's building
fine.
To this thing. But it was cool seeing both sides and seeing Mon Mothma become Mon Mothma, the inside.
What the hell's Mon Mothma?
Mon Mothma is the lady. She's in the movies, and it's like the same actress playing her, but she was in the Star Wars movie. So, but we never got to see like her home life and her husband and where she lived and shit. And so you're seeing how she's trying to fight the corruption from the inside. I mean, it's you're fighting a fascist government that still tracks. The tone of that is still there. Okay, House of the Dragon, Anthony, have you caught up?
Yes.
Holy shit, Ruggs, have you caught up?
Yes.
All right, let me start with Anthony. Last 2 episodes, your thoughts so far? So much shit happens on the show. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is the exact opposite of decompressing. That's for sure. Yes. This show speeds through some shit.
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 episodes were great. This last one's particularly was, I mean, it's just, they know, these writers, when they're on their game with Game of Thrones, know how to move chess pieces in a way that makes you as an audience member just going, oh my God, what the fuck is going to happen? Because they do it perfectly with the kids.
Yeah.
That argument with everyone in the family, and then how it ends. I still don't think that they needed to age up everybody or recast everyone. But I think the new players in this are doing a fine job, so I don't have too much of a problem with it. The only critique I'd have is I wish this was similar to the original Game of Thrones, in that it took its time and we got to have years with these characters, seeing all these things play out. Like, I definitely would have wanted to see the evolution of Alicent and Rhaenyra's relationship in that 10-year block and see what would have happened. What happened?
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, the show it's pretty fucking good.
I mean, at this pace that it's going to, I can't imagine it being more than like 1 or 2 seasons. Like, they are speeding.
I think it's 2, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be 2. It's speeding through shit.
And I just want to throw in real quick.
Yeah.
Eileen Team Alicent, if I had to pick.
So really, the lines are being drawn here, and I'm not sure who I side with on what. And everybody has kids. It's crazy. I mean, you had a fucking, and also don't get married to Daemon Targaryen because you will die in some fashion. I mean, she fucking Dracarys herself. That was fucking wild. Holy shit, Ruggs. what do you think about these lines being drawn? This war is being set up. What side are you on?
Okay, I'll get to that. But like, first thing I have to say, because I'm thinking it is like, young Rhaenyra had the biggest teeth, and now the new Rhaenyra has the smallest teeth.
The smallest teeth.
So I just want to say that. You can think about that later. Lines are drawn. Okay, so let's so the reality of what's going on is that Rhaenyra, she creates all of these issues. She could have been past all this stuff, but she keeps creating these issues and getting herself in trouble, and she's kind of like burying herself deep. But I also think Allison and her father,
these guys, I don't like them.
Is his father's like, he really is plotting. He really is playing this game. And he tells her at the end, he's like, you got to get ready to play the game. And now you are ready. Like, I can see that you can do it. So she's willing to kill. And her dad was waiting for that, because if that's the case, then this is going to be very interesting. Now, in the terms of this whole kid thing, okay, so the woman Dracarys herself loses the giant dragon.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
And now
Vagar is the dragon.
Yeah, Vagar.
Big dragon.
So now
the scale of that was amazing, and it was really cool that you gave you a sense of what it's like to climb on a giant dragon. Yeah,
humongous.
It's giant.
It's like riding on the back of Godzilla or something. It's huge. But
that was great.
The kid, they established this earlier that he wants a dragon. He wasn't going to get it. And they gave him the pig. Yeah. So they're teasing him. They're fucking with. They're all in cahoots. All of the princes are in cahoots to fuck with this guy. So he wants to. He grabs this dragon. He shouldn't. It's really not his dragon to grab.
The fucking dragon.
He takes the dragon from his aunt's
children,
his cousins, his aunt's children, his aunt's children, who are his cousin who's mourning the death of her mom.
So he's in the wrong there, and then he starts beating the girls start arguing, and then he starts slapping. Well, they slap him, but he starts beating the fuck out of everybody, and then they all kind of pile on him.
Yeah, then they're kicking the shit out of him.
And then, but he grabs a rock, and now at that point in time, I'm like, oh, this dude's gonna fucking kill somebody.
Yes.
And by the twist of fate is that the kid has a knife, and
kid has a knife. Yeah,
is able to and it's not the big kid, it's the small kid.
Yeah, you got to look out for that small kid.
Now, if you're in that situation, right? And there's a kid that's 15 years old or whatever, and there's a kid that's clearly 6 or 7 years old, and you're going to take the side of the older kid, why is that kid trying to kill you? You know what I mean? You have to ask, what has to happen? All these other kids are this, and I don't know. I feel like it's very strange that people will just be this guy's completely not, but it was weird. But
loses an eye, gains a dragon.
He does lose an eye, so that would make any parent crazy, right? So
the eye thing, but I do think generally the group was against Aemon. They were these are little kids, and you were what happened here,
dude? And then Allison just
escalated very quickly.
She loses her shit and tries to get the eye herself. She's like, I want his eye for an eye. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And now everyone has seen how crazy she is, kind of.
Yeah, but I think. What's great about that scene is there's all these conflicting emotions, right?
Yeah.
Like Allison got thrown into being a queen. She never asked for it. Right. Her dad put her into that.
Yep.
And she's basically living this life where she's a queen, but she has no power, and she has to carry this guy's children. And then she looks at Rhaenyra, who's been bequeathed being the queen of Westeros, and she gets to fuck whoever she wants.
Yeah.
Even and everyone and her dad is just looking the other way. So you have that. Then you have the kids, where it's Aegon could give a shit about his life.
He's drunk all the time, jerking off in the window.
Helena, all she cares about is bugs,
spiders.
Spiders, and she's bequeathed to Aegon, so they're going to marry each other.
Yeah, that's
and
weird.
Aemond is getting made fun of, even though he doesn't have a dragon, but he's a little shit because obviously he was going to kill a little kid.
Yeah.
And then you have these bastard kids who everyone is not acknowledging are bastard kids, or the only person that's important, Viserys and Lane, the Valarians, they don't acknowledge that these are bastard kids.
Yeah.
Yet they're also like the sweetest kids in the world.
Yeah.
And there's that scene where they like comfort.
He goes and talks to her.
Comfort Damon's kids.
Yeah.
So like, there's just all these conflicting emotions, which makes this all so freaking riveting when they're all in a room together.
I believe we are going to get another recasting of the kids as they
I think
get
so. They're going to age
older.
them up again.
Yeah. But yeah, he steals the fucking dragon. And then so Rhaenyra not only fucks her uncle, she marries him. She's an uncle fucker and an uncle marrier.
She's always loved him.
Yes.
But she also sees it as the only way to really gain a little bit of a foothold in Westeros.
It's a power move for both of them, right? Because now, and then he arranges for Laenor's fake death, to run off, and they think he's dead. And that was a crazy twist, but it happened very quickly. Like that happens, and they're instantly getting married.
Yeah, no, that's the show runs through some shit.
Yeah.
Like they could have let that mystery play out a little longer.
Yeah.
They're trying to get all the players on the board. Now they're trying to get all their kids grown up on the board. They're trying to get everything on the board, and they're just rushing to it a little bit. But I would rather have a rush, but to get to something good, than a rush for no reason.
Yeah.
Like I know that there's going to be next time we tune in and time has passed, like these kids are going to be older, they're going to be interesting characters in and of themselves. We're definitely going to be losing some characters along the way. So
how long is Viserys gonna fucking live? He's just barely fucking alive.
I thought he was a goner.
I know.
That last episode before they did the time jump, I was like, this dude's fucking dead.
Like he's missing an arm now or something.
One thing that we have to factor in too, if you're looking at this show and where the chess pieces are, is Corlys Velaryon and his wife, who was Rhaenys Targaryen. I think her name's Rhaenys.
Yes, they want some power.
Well, no, listen, they were going to bequeath Driftmark to Rhaenyra's kids because those kids, Rhaenyra and Laenor's kids, are Velaryon, and Rhaenyra's like, but they're not really our blood, and he goes, but the name is what lasts, right?
Yeah.
So they were on Rhaenyra's side, basically.
Yeah.
But because they faked the death of their own last child, they even acknowledge this is going to basically make the Velaryons enemies of us because they're going to suspect that Daemon and Rhaenyra had basically anyone that's been around them all their children have died being around them. So they're going to be so now by taking this power and solidifying the Targaryen name, they've pushed the Velaryons, I think, to the other side to Team Green.
Team Green with Viserys and Alicent. I'm rooting for...
Viserys is not on her team.
Oh.
Viserys is on Team Rhaenyra.
He's on team... Yeah, he does. He keeps defending his daughter.
Right.
I don't know why I'm rooting for now Rhaenyra and Daemon. I don't know why. I love Daemon Targaryen. It's creepy. It's incestual. But
I think that's the good part of the show is you can make an argument for either side.
Yeah. Fuck, it's good, dude. Did anybody else think it was very dark, though, the episode overall?
Yes. I had to watch it with the lights off.
Not in tone of writing, but I'm talking actual saturation of black.
Yeah, there was an issue there, yeah.
I don't know why they did that with Battle of Winterfell, that episode in season 8.
Both of these episodes directed by Miguel Sapochnik. He likes doing this. It's his thing.
It sucks.
He says it's for a reason, but it was way too fucking dark.
It was way too fucking... I had to turn all the lights off.
You have to watch it in a dark room and increase your brightness. But yeah, no. It's like you can fucking bump up the contrast a little bit. Come on, what are you doing? It was like this day for night shot the whole time where you could barely see anything. That was kind of annoying. But so far, this show moves ahead at a fucking... crazy pace.
I'll say this: that last episode we just watched, I thought was one of the best episodes in all of Game of Thrones history.
Oh shit!
I don't think it's the best by any stretch, but I think it's up there.
It definitely was like I definitely felt like I was back at the Game of Thrones, like the old way when I was sitting on my couch watching those things back in the day and going, "Oh my god, holy shit!" It wasn't quite Red Wedding, but it was almost that level.
As soon as I saw it said directed by Miguel Sapochnik, I was like, "Oh, this shit is gonna be good." I know it already.
The amount of tension between when the kids are fighting each other and then that scene in the hall with everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like white knuckle.
Yeah.
And what's great about it is before that, they do the funeral and they play it really like slowly, where every person's there, and they're just like looking at each other, but they're not really doing anything. So like shit's about to go down.
It's a very awkward funeral.
I mean, I thought when Eamon pulls the fucking rock, I thought he was gonna bash the kids.
I was like, one of these kids is dying. Yes, I thought one of these kids is absolutely dying. This is gonna start a war. This is a problem.
And what I remember is the Targaryens are always like, there was something where it's good. They go, the Targaryens are basically a flip of the coin. They're either good or bad, and you can tell this Aemon kid is he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, well, especially after he tames Vhagar, right? He thinks he's hot shit, right? And it completely comes back with a different...
he has balls. You have to admit.
Yeah.
Oh, he definitely has balls. And I love his line though, where he goes, like basically losing the eye was worth getting Vhagar, and then fucking what's his name? Alicent's dad,
Viserys. Oh, Otto Hightower.
Otto's like, that was worth it, because now they have the biggest dragon in case they need to fight with dragons.
They have they flew away with like 3 dragons. They got all the
but they have the biggest one. That one could take out the other dragons.
And you could just tell the size of it compared to the other one. It's like the size of 3 of those fucking.
Yeah, that's a great design too. It's different. Yeah,
the scale and the part where he like creeps up and the dragon's looking at him and he's about to fucking Dracarys him, and then he just stands there and holds his ground, and the fucking scale of that thing was...
I think it's one of the coolest dragons because it doesn't have scales.
Yeah.
It's kind of got that smooth skin. Like, it's weird, and it's got this like really it's almost got like a Godzilla 2000 face.
Yeah. Very kaiju.
I mean, like 1998. Sorry, 98. Yeah.
All right, House of the Dragon, killing it. Let's move on. Just real quick to the other prequel fantasy show, Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, on Amazon. Now, last week we had discussed how nothing was really happening on the show. 5 episodes. Well, let me tell you, episode 6, holy fucking shit.
Oh, shit.
Wow. That's all I'm going to say is wow. It was a battle. It was action. Shit is exploding. Lots of people are dying.
I'm still upset it took this long to get to here.
It was so good. I was like, oh, now they're finally fucking getting into some shit. So, Ruggs, this is, again, spoilers, like Mount Doom erupts because fucking the dude gets the hilt and floods it.
On one hand, it's kind of like annoying that they're fucking with all this, like, Tolkien stuff, and I don't know if it makes sense, and they do kind of have this sword hilt that is kind of like a substitute for the ring, like this kind of thing that has a kind of connection to Sauron. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, like, all right, it's progressing the story, and now I can see, okay, Mount Doom is there, so they can start making the Rings of Power now.
Is this how Mordor gets created? Like this Southlands becomes Mordor?
I don't know. I haven't read the Silmarillion. I just know things about it. But no, I mean the fact that Mount Doom didn't exist until now, it's crazy. So
listen, all I'm saying is fucking some shit went down on Lord of the Rings finally, and it was.
You can talk about it with spoilers.
It was pretty. No, I mean that's it. It was just like the big battle. The cavalry rides in.
So what happens is this whole 5 episodes. It's this one Galadriel trying to convince the Númenóreans to go to Middle Earth to stop this uprising of orcs, and finally they get there and they fucking fuck shit up. And there's a whole battle. There's actually 2 battles. There's one at a tower, and then there's one at a town.
It's bloody.
And they do try and get to some answers or that leave more questions open. But
who's Sauron then? None of these fuckers.
We don't know yet. I think you can't count on anybody telling the truth. He said he killed Sauron. You can't.
I don't buy it.
I don't think that dude's killed. I think he is Sauron. I think he's just lying.
Adar, yeah.
I think he's just lying.
It was fucking badass, though. I was like, holy shit, okay.
Like, how did nobody know that the sword wasn't in that fucking thing? Like, how did that old guy get it? Like, what was that all about?
They swapped it out and gave him something else? Is that what happened? I think that's what happened. And it was,
the elf took it and he was going to hide it somewhere.
Dude, Arondir is badass, too.
And then
he's fantastic.
And then he must have found it and made a switcheroo? Is that what happened?
Fucking Galadriel rides in with the Númenóreans.
She can't be dead. She got exploded, right?
No, she's. I don't know. A lot of people got squished when the fucking thing went off. That was great.
Mount Doom erupts, and there's like a whole like gigantic explosion, and she's
raining
right there.
down fire. Yeah. Oh, so good. It was so good. It's good. So,
I'll tell you this, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most cinematic episode. It felt like you were watching a movie.
It was fucking epic. So yeah, they finally brought it. Okay.
Is it finally? Is it? I can't. You can't say it's Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon level, but is it building some momentum finally?
I think that if it kicks up a gear, and I mean, like they wasted, like I can't believe they wasted so many episodes, but
I think there's only 2 left of this fucking
shit. So there's not really much left, and they just kind of got to resolve this end of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it to watch all those episodes to get to this battle? I am not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it is pretty cool. You could just watch just one episode.
Yeah, the battle. That battle episode is that is like Game of Thrones epic level, but on a bigger scale almost.
Let me quote my friend Ed.
Yeah,
he was drunk over the weekend and he was on a rant.
Yeah,
and he said he was watching Endgame and he goes, "Man, Phase 4 is complete garbage compared to this." And then he goes, "Similar to how I feel when I watch the original Lord of the Rings." Rings of Power is trash compared to this.
Oh my god! Well,
Lord of the Rings, the movies is just better. Like it's just better because you feel like. I think Lord of the Rings is this great thing of like making you feel afraid of what's going to happen if this shit continues. Like there's a sense of dread, and then when you have that much sense of dread and you have heroism that rises above it, you feel like that they're more brave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Lord of the Rings does so well. Like the heroism in the face of like complete, like Free Frodo's like, there's no way this motherfucker's going to live through this. And he does.
Yeah.
And it's great. So that's what this doesn't have that. It doesn't have the stakes.
There's a little bit of this, but you don't get that feeling.
No, because Galadriel is like, she's not, she's like Superwoman. She's never going to die. So.
And just consider the fact that he made that first movie on like $80 to $90 million is fucking wild, right? It still looks amazing, and there's like $1 billion in this show. But yeah, the practical effects he used. So yeah, there's that sentiment that it's not quite.
Well, she doesn't die because she's in the other movies too.
She's gonna survive. So it being a prequel, there's some of that. But I think House of the Dragon does it better, where you're not sure who's gonna live or die, but you kind of know, but you don't know.
I think House of Dragon is a different animal. It's tapping into like drama. It's tapping into like, moving chess pieces around and anticipation and who's going to die, blah, blah, blah. And it hits you in the gut. And this show should do what Tolkien does and give you that heroic triumphing over evil kind of adventure. But it's kind of like, it's meandering along.
So it may not be very Tolkien, as much as people want it to be.
I think that like it's fun to. I mean, I'm not going to stop watching. I think it's worth checking out. Everyone, but I feel like disappointed in it more than anything.
All right. Yeah. We'll see how it ends up. Anthony, you watch anything fun you want to mention?
I do want to mention one thing. I'm trying to get back on the '90s kick because watching all these shows, it's just pushed me off track a little bit. So I did watch one 90s movie actually last night, Sunday night.
Okay.
And it was Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee.
Oh, the Brandon Lee Rapid Fire, yes.
Directed by Dwight H. Little, who did Marked for Death with Steven Seagal and some other shit, I think.
Powers Booth is in this movie. What'd you think of this? I got to watch this again, but I remember really enjoying it the first time I watched it.
I had a great time with Marked for Death. I mean, it's
Rapid Fire.
Excuse me. Yeah, Rapid Fire. Sorry, not Marked for Death. Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I think it's an 80s, 90s action movie in the sense that there's a plot that really doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And the acting is, you have like Brandon Lee, who's pretty green, so his acting is a little all over the place at times.
Yep.
But you have a great cast around him. I think what stands out the most, though, is just you've got Brandon Lee. He just moves way better than a lot of the action stars of the time. And they do the fight scenes. They don't do as many quick cuts, so you can actually see that he's athletic.
Yeah,
and you can tell that Brandon Lee was doing a little bit of Bruce, doing a little bit of his own, but then also throwing in a lot of Jackie Chan type stuff.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of police story influence in this movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he uses a lot of props as weapons.
Yes, that's fun.
So it makes the scenes really fun, and the action's great in that sense. There is a random sex scene with him and Kate Hodge played to like this over melodramatic ballad, which is awesome. You get to see her tits, and she's great. She's hot.
And Elle Young is in it.
You
so.
fucker. I was just going to say that. Elle Young is in it.
That's the best part.
Elle Young is in it, and he's not killed off unceremoniously. He gets him and Brandon Lee have probably the best fight scene in the movie.
Oh, he gets some screen time,
Yeah, they get that dude. Genghis Khan is there to not to fuck around. He's to kick some ass.
You know it's legit, and Elle Young is in your fucking movie.
Yeah, Elle Young is in it. Yeah, and it's. I mean, by no stretch are we looking at Schindler's List here, but you could definitely see.
But in the grand scheme of 80s action movies, I think that what it does is it makes you feel bad that Brandon Lee did it when he did a couple of movies.
Yeah.
He had the juice.
He could have been. He would have been a huge star. He would have been a huge
I
star.
watched it. This one's, by the way, this is 92, so it's 90s, but it's in our tournament, so there's that.
It's in the tournament.
But yeah, he definitely. You could see the what he had and what it was like, where he could have gone in these. He would have been the guy, I think, for a while.
A lot of potential.
After The Crow, he would have been a huge star. I think he would have got
a lot of Letterboxd. When I was reading Letterboxd reviews after this, they all were like, similar remarks about Brandon Lee and what he could have been, but they were like, imagine that guy as Neo in the Matrix. Like,
oh my God, yeah,
he would have been what Keanu is now.
Yeah,
it's a better.
He would be John Wick right now.
Yeah,
he could have actually done like more martial arts.
He could have done the physicality. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, cool. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire is good. I'd never seen it.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this
again. You got to watch it with of its time type thing, and like with that mindset. But if you go in 80s, 90s action movie, it's. I was very impressed watching it, and I have to again say I really enjoyed the sex scene. I like Kate Hodge. She's a very very pretty girl.
There's a couple. I watched a couple of great things on Netflix recently. I just want to mention real quick. There's the Dahmer show. You guys are aware of this? So
it's getting some of the most watched, or it's getting some of the highest views in Netflix
huge.
history.
Everybody's watching
That's
it.
Disturbing.
I watched the first 3 episodes. First of all, it has a ridiculous title. The actual title for this show is Dahmer Monster: The Jeffrey Dahmer Story. I don't know why that's the title. It's redundant. But 3 episodes. The first episode is fantastic. The tension in this show, it's not gory, but it is disturbing as fuck. And by the 3rd episode, I am questioning myself. I'm like, I'm starting to feel bad for Dahmer. I don't know if this is right. Should I feel bad? Like, because the way they show his childhood, I was like, oh my God, I kind of feel bad for this guy. But I'm like, wait a minute, it's fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. Evan Peters doing a bang up job as Dahmer. It is creepy, amazing tension. It's really well done. It's Ryan Murphy who's doing it. So I'm 3 episodes into that, but it's like I got to take it one at a time. I didn't even want to start watching it because I wasn't ready in a mindset for something like this. Ruggs, have you watched any of it?
What, Dahmer? I would never watch that.
It's not. No? Well, because
I have no interest in watching a show about a man who eats people.
The thing is, it happened very near here in the Midwest. I remember when this was happening. I've met dudes when I worked at the balloon company many years ago.
Weird. This is weird.
That told me stories where they escaped from Dahmer, where they went with him. And
so you want to watch that? That to me,
I don't.
There's
know.
nothing about this that I'd want to. I'm with Ruggs. This has actually happened, and it's like one of the fucking most disturbing things you could watch.
Yeah, it's fucking captivating.
Oh my
God,
it's
just well made.
You're a sick fuck.
Listen, I don't care if you want to watch it. I just don't.
I do. I think he's sick.
It's well made.
I do think it's weird that you got the same people saying, "Oh, you can't have people like the Joker in a movie. It's bad for incels and incels, whatever." And then people will just rush to watch a guy who just eats people, and kills them.
Evan Peters will probably get an Emmy nomination for this fucking role, but it is weird. It is weird.
I also got to throw in too, this is one of the most deplorable human beings on Earth, and we're glorifying this thing.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the rest of the show focuses more on the victims and what they went through.
But to make a show, to make anything, like these guys, these are the type of people that should just like never live on. Like they should die when they die, and it goes away. But we have an obsession with telling stories about these kind of people.
And it's kind of making you sympathize with fucking Jeffrey Dahmer, which is wild. I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know how to feel about this. It's really good. Okay.
It's really good.
But it's really good. The other cool thing, Ruggs, you'll enjoy this. Jose Ibarra turned me onto this at our last Discord. Anime on Netflix, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, set at Night City. It's a prequel where the game takes place. They're 24-minute, 10-episode season. I've watched 6 episodes. It's very violent, but it's a good story, and it's a lot of fun. It's from the people who made Kill la Kill, Rugs.
Yeah, don't ruin it. Yeah, Kill la Kill was like crotch shot city. We got a lot of crotch shots? There's
a lot of just violent fucking things. The only thing that bugs me about this whole thing is it does the thing, and I guess maybe it's this studio or it's a thing in anime where there's a lot of dialogue. They don't want to animate the mouth, so there's times where you're just looking at the back of people's heads, still drawings, and they're talking. There's one scene where 2 characters are having a conversation, and it's a shot of the fucking ceiling fan for like a minute while they're talking. It's weird. I'm trying not to let it bug me. They do it all the time.
It bugs the shit out of me. I just fast forward.
You never see their mouths move, but you miss all the important dialogue. You never see their mouths move.
I don't care. I'll figure it out.
And then the last thing, I finally watched the 3-hour Bollywood action epic RRR. Oh, shit. And let me tell you, we need to review this movie.
No.
Everyone should watch this movie. It's amazing. It's fucking... I watched it in 2 sittings. I broke it up. Hour and a half is a good stopping point right in the middle. And then the next day, I watched the rest of it. And you know what? We just talked about Hard Target, John Woo. That shit is all over this movie. There is so much John Woo influence. You have the slow motion. You have the contrived action. You have the tracking shots of weapons and bullets being fired. It's all there. This guy must have really loved John Woo. But the story, the characters, the movie is fucking great. By the end of it, I was like, fucking kill all those English people. Kill all the British. Fuck them. Because they're kind of the bad guys. It's great. It's very good.
I do want to watch it, to be honest with you. I'm never going to have time to watch a 3-hour movie.
These movies we are talking about, these 80s and 90s action movies, all of that DNA is in this fucking movie. We have to give it its due. I want more people to watch this. I would like find time. We should, because I can't, there's so many things to talk about. So much ridiculous shit. It's really good.
This is right up my alley. I love foreign films that are action movies. I love it.
If we ever do it, we could do it for a Patreon.
Okay, but like it has everything we love in all these movies.
Let's be honest.
We watch.
How many views we get in doing an Indian Telugu language movie?
Listen, I think a lot of people watch this because it's on Netflix and it's kind of had spread by word of mouth. Like a lot more people than I thought at work have seen this movie. I'm like, oh my god, you watch this? It's fucking epic. It's just fucking. It's great. It's good. It's good.
Maybe I'm open to it. I'm more open to it after your enthusiasm. But then again, you also said. With that Power show on NBC was good too. So
no, I never said that. What the DC sitcom? I never laughed once. It was crap, and I watched all of it. Don't watch that. This though, I thought of John. Like I watched Hard Target, and I watched this movie. I was watching them like together. I'm like, this is the same. This is it. He put everything in here. It's so much John Woo fucking style, crazy. It's so good, and I was rooting for these fucking characters by the end of the movie. I was like yelling at the screen. You got to check it out. Just if you have time.
Now, what happens if I watch it and I hate it, Imran? Is that going to ruin it for you?
No, then it'll make for a fun discussion. Why you hate it, but it's actually
3 hours long.
I know, but it's kind of broken up into chapters, and you can stop it wherever you want.
Now, is it subtitled or just dubbed?
It's dubbed.
Okay.
No, it's subtitled. Sorry, it's in Hindi with subtitles.
Yeah. All right.
Telugu.
Yeah.
That's not Hindi.
It's actually in Hindi. There's a Hindi audio. There's also Telugu audio. Oh. But what I watched was in Hindi because I understood a lot of. It's very similar to Urdu. I understood a lot of what they were saying. And there's some English in there, but it's. So
I got to read for 3 hours. Okay.
There's a lot of reading, but fuck, dude, the story, the journey, like it has everything, like the buddy, the friendship, the betrayal. It's so good. It's so good. And then you want them to do a thing, and they do it at the end. Like it's ridiculous physics that would never work. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Anything else, Ruggs? You watch anything fun?
No.
Okay, well then we're
I
done.
barely had time to watch what we had to watch for this. So
Everyone watch Werewolf by Night. It's out October 7th, Friday on Disney Plus. We will be reviewing it next week. And we're done. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
Really Rug Boy on Twitter. Come follow me. Retweet me. I'll retweet you.
Do all of that fun stuff. Links are in our show notes for this episode and every episode that you can find how you can support the show and most importantly, share the show. Get it out there. Post it. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I fucking loved it.
That's a big fuck up right there.
Oh, remember this one?
Yes. Leprechaun. Yeah.
Is that from Leprechaun?
Yes, that's the Leprechaun.
Trolls.
From Trolls 2.